Football's ultimate defender, making Messi run scared. Like, share, and subscribe. Episode 61, The Red Devil Collapses. Being targeted by the Kardashian family, Kendall invites her to the hotel. The Red Devils started strong but ended badly. The battle of the billionaires became a joke. Just as Mourinho said. There was no such thing as an evenly matched opponent. It was clearly Chen Mo's one-sided crushing. Chen Mo scored a goal, assisted 5 goals, and created an own goal. He single-handedly planned the bloodbath of Manchester United. He even nailed Lukaku to the pillar of shame. A headshot. Lukaku's 23 goals for Manchester United were in vain. He went from being a super shooter in the hearts of Manchester United fans to Lukaku, who scored an own goal. Pogba was sleepwalking. He lost his temper after being cut off by Chen Mo. Lingard was even pierced through the crotch by Chen Mo and turned into a sieve. Manchester United fans were heartbroken. The final score was 7 o'clock, and Ferguson was so angry that he had a heart attack. Pogba, Lingard, and United became the laughingstock of England, Europe, and the world football world. Ferguson was sent to the hospital and recovered after emergency treatment. The first words he said when he woke up: Manchester United is finished. Manchester United was broken by the damn Liverpool. The Red Devils dynasty that I built has completely collapsed. At this moment, the godfather of Manchester United, the godfather of the Red Devils who created the glory of Manchester United, was completely desperate. After the game, at the press conference, Mourinho directly fired a map cannon. He exposed the internal problems of Manchester United and exposed Giggs' slurring of youth training players and completely sidelined him. 7 o'clock. This shameful score in his coaching career was entirely the result of Giggs tampering with tactics. He officially resigned from Manchester United. Pogba is a cancer. Lingard is just a name and has no ability to become a core. Most of Manchester United's players are not worthy of being professional players. All they think about is money and where to go on vacation, instead of what professional players should think about: how to train hard and how to win. The cancer headed by Pogba is contaminating the entire Manchester United 097. If Manchester United wants to revive, the first thing to do is to replace 80% of the players in the team. If you want to renovate the house, you have to clean the house first. Finally, Mourinho ended the post-match press conference with one sentence: to bring Manchester United to the second place in the league is the most brilliant achievement in my coaching career for me. It is more than the Champions League, Europa League, La Liga Championship, Serie A Championship, more gold zone. Public opinion was in an uproar. The top management of Manchester United club was in a mess. Pogba and Lingard stood up to respond one after another. Don't look at the mentality of being beaten by Chen Mo. Chen Mo is almost their nightmare. But it doesn't prevent them from continuing to be domineering in Manchester United. Pogba posted on social media. Also chose to open a map cannon. No one among all the coaches of Manchester United, including Mourinho, will use me. I have always played awkwardly. The chaos of the team on the field made me at a loss. He pushed all the blame, including being crushed by Chen Mo. It became the fault of others. He himself did not make any mistakes. Lingard was even more arrogant. No one trusts me. I am a core player, but I am always used as a scrap. A farce unfolded. Manchester United's top management needs to solve the exploding locker room and find a new head coach to fill the position immediately. It is estimated that it will be chaotic for a while. It is the internal strife of Manchester United that attracted more attention. On the contrary, Liverpool, which slaughtered Manchester United and knocked Manchester United to pieces in one battle, did not pay attention to anyone. Everyone was busy eating melons. There was no time to pay attention to them. Liverpool was also happy about this. After a celebration at Anfield, Klopp gave everyone a post-match summary, and the whole team disbanded. Chen Mo, who returned home, did not pay attention to the disturbance outside. At this moment, his mentality collapsed. He lay on the sofa and felt hopeless. A huge harvest of negative emotion points. 36,820 negative emotion points. 7 draws. He actually drew 6 bronze treasure chests and 1 silver treasure chest. Obtained 3 stamina recovery potions, 3 professional player nutrition packages, and 1 Wu-Lei positioning awareness talent. Crash. Chen Mo's mentality collapsed. He never expected it. He was actually taught a lesson by the system. What is a good harvest with low yield? Working hard for 996, and looking back, it was all in vain? He realized that the system was actually a black-hearted capitalist, exploiting him, a young worker. One game. He was trying his best to get the money. Not to mention his hard work. System, are you worthy of Pogba who was dominated and stupid? Are you worthy of Lingard who was pierced through the crotch and numb? Are you worthy of their young hearts that were hurt and repeatedly stimulated? Even if you give me a shin guard, it will be fine. Stamina recovery card is fine. What the hell is a professional player nutrition package? What the hell is Wulei's running awareness? Why don't you give me a Wulei shot? Speechless. Greatly speechless. In his 2 lives, he has never been so speechless. Finally, Chen Mo finished a professional player nutrition package with tears in his eyes. Disgusting. It tastes even worse than the food prepared by the nutritionist. But there is no way, I have to finish the food I drew through the system with tears in my eyes. Liverpool slaughters Manchester United. Goal. Assists 5 players. Own goal, crush Pogba. Play with Lingard. Liverpool supernova becomes Manchester United's nightmare. Mourinho resigns and blasts Manchester United. Ferguson was stimulated by 7 o'clock and suffered a heart attack in the stands. Pogba blasts. Lingard blasts. Former Manchester United coach Van Gaal accepts an interview, saying that Manchester United has the worst management in the world. Manchester United has serious locker room conflict after the tragic defeat. Lukaku is suspected of having a conflict with his opponent in the locker room. Gig sidelines Mourinho. Where is Manchester United's future? Manchester United completely collapsed. The Red Devils died. The next day, all kinds of reports and public opinions swept across Europe. All clubs and fans were attracted by Manchester United. It was very lively. Manchester United was in a state of panic. They had to find a new head coach and solve the locker room problem. But Manchester United's famous players still didn't mind the trouble. They stood up to criticize Mourinho and defend Giggs, Pogba, and Lingard. They supported Manchester United's top management in various ways. It was very lively anyway. However, these had nothing to do with Liverpool players. They had 5 days of rest. They each started to go on vacation or practice at home. Only Chen Mo. He was accompanied by Mendes and went to London. Signed an endorsement contract with Adidas. To cooperate with Adidas to shoot commercials. Adidas also had to measure Chen Mo's foot circumference and develop Chen Mo's transfer boots, the Shenlong series of shoes. All the data has been collected. Our R&D department will start to develop the Shenlong series that belongs to you. The Shenlong series will be the main model this year. It is expected that you will be able to wear your new shoes in 2 months. Adidas staff collected various materials. Finally, he was a little embarrassed and asked Chen Mo for an autograph. My wife likes you very much. She knew I was coming to see you, so she asked me to ask you for an autograph. If I don't get it, she won't let me into the house. He took the autograph from Chen Mo with both hands and carefully put it away. Mo, can my wife meet you? If possible, I want to arrange it in a hotel. Chen Mo stared at the other party with wide eyes. Listening to the other party's increasingly outrageous words, his worldview almost collapsed. Let your wife meet me in the hotel. What the hell do you want to do? Weird things happen every year, but today is so outrageous. Contemporary Pyongyang, do you want to help push it? Foreigners are playing so fancy? Sorry. Mo has other work. Mendes stepped forward to interrupt and pulled Chen Mo away. That guy is from Gaul. After taking Chen Mo into the car, Mendes explained. Oh. Chen Mo nodded. From Gaul. That's not strange. You are so popular now. The dream lover of European girls. The idol of all European girls. Replaced Ronaldo. Beckham is not as attractive as you. Mendes' mouth was grinning to the back of his head. Believe me. After you retire, you can definitely enter the entertainment industry and go to Hollywood to film. You will definitely be more popular than Leonardo. Chen Mo's mouth twitched. I just want to play football well. Yes, yes, yes. Mendes nodded quickly, I'm just saying. It's a pity if you don't become a star with this face. Do you know what happened to your jerseys, shorts, shoes, shin guards, and socks that were taken away by those female models? There is a big lady from a financial family who offered $10 million just to buy your final jersey. At the end, Mendes couldn't help but smack his lips. The world is too crazy. The little girl who chases stars is so rich and inhumane. What do you think if all your final jerseys are sold? Stop. Chen Mo stretched out his hand to interrupt. You are a big football agent, why do you still want to work as a jersey dealer? Do you know Wang Tao? Mendes smiled awkwardly, Ren? Chen Mo explained. I thought Mendes would be disdainful, but who knew that he would give a thumbs up? Instead, he looked appreciative. He's a smart businessman. Chen Mo rolled his eyes at him. Advertising shooting base. The staff and photographers who had been prepared for a long time were all ready to go. The models who would shoot the advertisements together were also in place. Handsome men with beautiful women, stars with models. This is the most familiar configuration in Europe. Especially a popular person like Chen Mo, with a few supermodels, it will definitely bring a wave of sales. Everyone was in place, waiting for the arrival of the protagonist. Why hasn't he come yet? This is too much. That star? Ronaldo, or Messi? They actually made us wait? A beauty in a sexy body-hugging short skirt, black stockings, and long legs, paired with a women's suit, looked annoyed at the moment. She kept asking the assistant. She had been waiting for half an hour, which made her, who had always been a big star, feel a little underestimated. After all, she was also a well-known supermodel in America. The little sister of the famous Kardashian family. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner is known as Kendall. A supermodel with 20 million fans. She is very well known. Whenever she is shooting or waiting for others, others are waiting for her. Some people even come to greet her early in advance. They ask her about her well-being. There is no way. As the youngest and most beautiful sister in the Kardashian family, she has been very popular with men since she was a child. Almost every man who comes into contact with her will have wild thoughts about her. Who dares to neglect her? Jenner, you have to wait a little longer. The staff of Adidas said that they just completed the contract in the morning and are now measuring the circumference of the feet to develop a new exclusive sneaker for the other party. I guess they are on the way now. The assistant whispered to comfort his boss. Kendall Jenner snorted angrily. I must teach him a lesson. He must pay the price for making me wait here for half an hour. But at this moment, a group of staff members walked out of the shooting base. Director. Senior executive sent by Adidas. All strode out. Here we are. The assistant hurriedly said to Jenner. Kendall stepped on expensive high heels and slowly stood up from her seat, looking at the entrance of the shooting base. Then she saw the director, Adidas senior executives, and other staff members, who came in with two people. Kendall's eyes widened instantly. They both knew each other. Mendes. The super agent crocodile in the world football. Ronaldo is his signed player. The other one is the hottest and most popular player in the world football today. Even America, who doesn't pay much attention to football, has attracted a large number of fans to Chen Mo. The person with the fastest increase in fans on the online social platform. Liverpool's core number 10 player. A new generation of heartthrob. Not only in England, but also in the whole of Europe, and even in the world of football. Kendall naturally knows Chen Mo. You have to know that in this world, football is the world's #1 sport. Even if it's America. The influence of those NBA superstars can't reach the influence of top football superstars. Even football superstars are more popular. Because they are world famous, the NBA is limited to America, and only a few can have a global influence. The Kardashian family is doing well in the NBA. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be successful in football, but they never have the opportunity. Kendall immediately put all the unhappiness behind her. At this moment, she was naturally excited and smiling. Her eyes were even brighter, as if she wanted to eat people. So handsome. Really so handsome. Kendall stared at Chen Mo and couldn't help but mocking Nanjiu. The assistant was a little confused. Jenna, didn't you say you wanted to teach him a lesson? Who said that? I tell you, don't slander me. Kendall turned her face and refused to recognize 1.4 people. She walked towards Chen Mo in high heels. Ta-da-da. The sound of high heels hitting the ground can be described as lotuses blooming with every step. Hello. I'm Kendall Jenner. She took the initiative to greet Chen Mo. She was also ecstatic in her heart. She must take this opportunity to get this new heartthrob in front of her, a superstar in the football world. At that time, she can rely on Chen Mo to expand her fame to the whole world. The most important thing is that she can show off to her sisters. What is an NBA superstar? Football superstars are really awesome. Hello. Chen Mo was also stunned. He shook hands with the other party like a gentleman. Noticing Kendall's eyes at this moment, he suddenly felt like he was being stared at. Mendes was instantly alert. After greeting each other, the work began. The staff arranged for the two to change clothes separately. The advertising shooting will start soon. Mendes has other things to do, and he has to leave to deal with them. Before leaving, he deliberately called Chen Mo. Mo. Stay away from that woman. She is from the Kardashian family. Those who come from that family are all fairies. They have ruined too many players' careers. Don't fall for it. Chen Mo waved his hand indifferently to reassure the other party. He is different. There are so many recovery cards. What is he afraid of? The filming of the advertisement lasted for an entire afternoon. Kendall was always deliberately trying to please Chen Mo, constantly giving Chen Mo hints. Chen Mo's main point was not to take the initiative and not to refuse. Kendall was very anxious. Seeing that the filming of the advertisement was about to end, Kendall finally couldn't bear it anymore and took the initiative to find Chen Mo. Are you free tonight? We can have dinner together and then go to the hotel for a drink. Chen Mo shrugged, it's hard to refuse such a kind invitation. Episode 62, Kendall's Passion Night, paparazzi feeling low. Liverpool twins cause a sensation outside the filming base. In a very ordinary and inconspicuous car, the middle-aged man and a young man were smoking boredly. What a tough job. There are so many stars that we can keep an eye on, why do we have to keep an eye on this guy? The young man, okayed, looked like he had lost all hope. This Mo. He's just a lunatic. He has no nightlife or emotional life. We've been following him for almost a month. This guy only trains and plays games, and goes home obediently after the game. He even practices extra at midnight. Follow him once, and all the other players are bad kids. The middle-aged man, Dana, waved his hand. He is now a hotshot. Didn't you see that at midnight, he was training on the court in his backyard? We just took a few photos, and got a lot of views? Octor was reluctant. What's the use? It's not worth the price. Other stars are having fun and dating all kinds of scandals. Look at his teammate Arnold. He also became famous at a young age. He rented a yacht and took a group of internet celebrities out for a trip. Our colleague dressed up as a chef and got a lot of hot news. It's £50,000. At this point, Octor's envy was almost overflowing. £50,000. He nearly 10 months' income. Dina pursed his lips, full of envy. I've heard it all. Mo has signed with Adidas. He's going to shoot an ad here, and the one he's working with is the younger sister of the Kardashian family, supermodel Kendall. Speaking of this, Dina had a wretched look on his face. Think about it. The Kardashian family. How many NBA stars have they produced? Come from this family. How could you miss this opportunity to get the hottest star in football? That Kendall is the most beautiful one in the Kardashian family. Mo is only 18 years old. A hot-blooded and handsome boy, can he bear it unless he has a problem with his sexual orientation? Okade pursed his lips, full of envy and jealousy. He was almost dying of envy. Chen Mo. Thinking back to that day when Chen Mo was completely surrounded by a group of models jumping down from the stands. He was so envious that he couldn't sleep well all night. Just as the two were talking, two figures suddenly appeared at the door of base 11. Come out. Damn. It's Kendall and Mo. Okade saw Chen Mo and Kendall walking out of the exit, and he got excited all of a sudden. Dana threw the cigarette out of the window. He picked up the camera in his arms and pointed it at the direction of the two people and took a lot of photos. The two got on the same car. Kendall also said goodbye to his assistant and rode alone with Chen Mo. That's Chen Mo. Mo's business car. Okade said excitedly. Big news. Finally there is big news. He seemed to see the pound waving at him. Dina quickly pressed the shutter and took a picture of the two people getting in the car together. Seeing the business car start to leave, Na slapped Okade on the back of his head. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and drive to catch up. I have a feeling that there will definitely be big news today, Okade reacted. He quickly started the car and quietly followed the other party's business car. After all, it is in England. It is also half of Chen Mo's territory. Naturally, he has to do his best to be a good host. Kendall invited him to dinner, but how can a girl pay the bill? He called Arnold. He asked him about a good restaurant in London. Arnold heard Chen Mo wants to treat a girl to dinner. I was immediately excited. Mo. You finally made it. I'll give you the address of the restaurant. Don't worry. Just tell me your name when you get there, and I'll ask my assistant to help you reserve a seat. Arnold felt like he saw his good brother finally grow up. That's right. He suddenly thought of the point. What's wrong? Chen Mo asked back in confusion. Do you need my help? It's a private matter? It's too unsafe to go to a hotel. It's very likely to be photographed by paparazzi. Private manners are safer. Arnold provided Chen Mo with a connection from his own perspective. It was the tone of his voice that was full of vulgarity. Get lost. Chen Mo cursed angrily. Brother. Listen to me. I'm doing this for your own good. You don't want to be on the headlines, do you? Arnold looked very hurt. Look at me. I rent a yacht when I go out to play, and I'm not afraid of being photographed at all. Really? You really should come with me, I have so many beautiful girls here. Arnold became more and more frivolous. Chen Mo finally hung up the phone. Damn scumbag. How can a pure boy like you And rent a yacht to take girls out to play? How low level, how cheap. High-quality scumbags in the new era, all let women spend money. Kendall heard it clearly when talking to Arnold. Hearing Chen Mo refuse Arnold's proposal to help find a private manor, Kendall was disappointed. Even a little discouraged. She had been giving hints since the beginning of the filming, and even let Chen Mo take advantage. But Chen Mo seemed to have heard nothing and saw nothing. He behaved very gentlemanly. This made Kendall doubt herself a little. Is she so unattractive? No. I am the most beautiful woman in the world. Kendall began to compete secretly. The more gentlemanly she was, the more she turned a blind eye, and the more she aroused her competitive spirit. She was determined to take this guy down and eat him up. But she didn't know. The real high-end hunters all started by disguising themselves as prey. As the saying goes, to lure the enemy, you must first fool the enemy. 3 hours later, the two finished their meal. Chen Mo personally drove Kendall back to the hotel where she was staying. The car stopped at the door of the hotel. Kendall got out of the car. They were about to part. Seeing that Chen Mo had no intention of staying, Kendall was really anxious. Mo, thank you for treating me to dinner. And sending me back to the hotel. Kendall raised her hand to put her long hair behind her ears, revealing her delicate facial features. She looked at Chen Mo with a gleaming gaze and a hint of shyness. Would you like to come to my room and have a cup of coffee I made? How about that as a thank you for your dinner? Chen Mo remained calm on the surface. But he was relieved in his heart. He had not spoken and had not taken the initiative, and was also gambling that Kendall wanted to keep him. If Kendall wanted him to stay, then the rest would be a matter of course. If she did not ask him to stay, then there was no need for him to take the initiative. In the end, Kendall still fell into his trap. Choose to take the initiative to invite the wolf into the house. Drinking coffee at this time, you will not be able to sleep at night? Chen Mo pursed her lips and deliberately gave a straight man's answer. Kendall heard this. I was speechless in my heart. Can't you think about something else? Is it because I want to invite you to have coffee? Even if you drink coffee, you still want to sleep when you are in the same room with a beautiful woman like me? But when I think of Chen Mo, who is only 18 years old and has been playing football in the youth training camp since she was a child, she has been training football all the time. Maybe she has never been in love, so I feel relieved. No way. Who gives handsome guys privileges? He is a hot shot in the football world and a super handsome guy, so she is naturally willing to accommodate him? Then let's chat. Kent smiled. She raised her arm, grabbed Chen Mo's hand, and pulled Chen Mo out of the car. It is very rude to refuse the invitation of a beautiful woman. Chen Mo let the other party pull her into the hotel. She was very happy. Got it. 20 minutes. In the hotel lobby. Okade trotted to Dina's side. Done? Dina asked Okade. Okade looked excited. All done. Okade raised the room card in his hand to Dina. It's right next to them. We will definitely get big news this time. Dina was very proud. I've said it. We must trust the judgment of our predecessors. Let's go. Hurry up and go upstairs. I've observed that the balconies of the bedrooms are connected. If they forget to draw the curtains, our good opportunity will come. The two went upstairs excitedly. Arrived next to Kendall's room. In the room, Kendall and Chen Mo didn't know that they were followed by paparazzi when they came out of the shooting base. In order to dig out big news, they even spent a lot of money to live in the room next to them. You know, the luxury suite of this hotel costs £5,000 a night. The two paparazzi also spent a lot of money. The two drank the coffee made by Kendall. Started chatting. Chen Mo talked about some interesting things about her youth training since she was a child, and Kendall shared her experience as a model with Chen Mo. They talked for about an hour. Looked at the time. It was already 12 o'clock. Chen Mo took the initiative to play hard to get, stood up and said, "It's late. I'm going home first. You should go to bed early too." After saying that, Kendall couldn't answer, so she walked straight to the door and picked up the coat hanging on the hanger. Kendall was anxious now. It was just the last step, how could she let Chen Mo leave? She hurriedly ran to the door. She took the initiative to hug Chen Mo without hesitation. If you leave like this, I will be very embarrassed. Oh? Chen Mo asked knowingly. Kendall glared at Chen Mo fiercely, stood on tiptoe, and wrapped her arms around Chen Mo's neck. Carry me into the bedroom. It's a trick. Chen Mo won a complete victory. With the attitude of a prey, he successfully caught Kendall, who thought she was a hunter. Humph. Kardashian family? Nothing special. In the corner outside the bedroom balcony. Okade and Dana, both of them were drowsy. The curtains were drawn so that they could not see what was going on inside. So the two could only rely on listening. After squatting for 2 hours, there was still no progress. They were both worried about the people inside. Don't start yet. Is Emo really not good enough? There is such a beauty in front of you, but you just drink coffee and chat, and you are not moved at all? Is he still a man? Okade couldn't help but complain in a low voice. As a result, he was quickly stopped by Dana. He covered his mouth. It started. The two heard the noise coming from the bedroom. He quickly turned on the recorder and tried to put it in the best position for receiving. They were all very excited. Big news. I will never do it without £100,000. Oaked whispered excitedly. But before he finished speaking, Dina slapped him on the back of his head. Are you stupid? There are pictures and the truth, and there is also a recording. Without £500,000, don't think about taking the news away. Oaked nodded frantically. He gave Dina a thumbs up. Otherwise, why do you say that the older the ginger, the more spicier it is, and the more evil the heart, the more evil it is? He really dared to ask for a lion's mouth. Don't say it. Listen to the noise. This Chen Mo is really strong. I just don't know the time. 1 hour later. The two people on the balcony, listening to the noise in the bedroom, widened their eyes and were full of shock. 3 hours later. Dina and Okade looked at each other. They saw each other's deep admiration for Chen Mo from their eyes. They really wanted to give Chen Mo a thumbs up. I would like to call Chen Mo the strongest. 6 hours later. The two were already lying on the balcony, watching the sun gradually rising in the sky, breathing the fresh air in the morning. The two had no desire to live. In the end, the two drove away from the hotel in despair. The two people in the car said nothing, and there was no expression on their faces. Their hearts were full of numbness. They even developed a jealous inferiority complex. This night. 6 hours. The two of them were hit hard by 093 Chen Mo. They felt inferior and wanted to die. Compared with Chen Mo, what are the two of them? Men? Don't. They both feel that they are not worthy at all. If Chen Mo knew what the two people were thinking, he would definitely helplessly spread his hands to the two of them. Don't compare with me. I'm a fucking cheater. If it hits you, I can only say that you deserve it. Sky-high endorsement. Chen Mo signed with Adidas, with an annual endorsement fee of €25 million. The Kardashian family enters the football world. The love affair of the Premier League supernova is exposed. Kendall. Chen Mo. Meet after the filming of the cooperative commercial. After dinner. Kendall and Mo go back to the hotel together. 6 hours. Kendall's passion night. The rumored mysterious Oriental secret technique. The mystery of 6 hours. Arnold rents a luxury yacht and takes 6 women out to sea. 3 consecutive days. Arnold's crazy yacht trip. Liverpool twins. Private life is chaotic, and they are about to fall. Arnold gets off the boat. Severe dark circles under his eyes, weak steps, suspected of being over fatigue. All kinds of news were exposed crazily. It instantly made the headlines and caused quite a stir. It has to be Liverpool. 2 supernovas, they are so colorful. 2 extremes. One is a bunch of hoots. The other is a hoopla. It has to be the Kardashian family. After finally winning the NBA, they have extended their claws to the football world. It's over. At such a young age, he is so unprofessional and his private life is so chaotic. I guess his career will definitely not go far. Am I the only one who is curious about 6 hours? Who can tell me the answer? I am willing to spend a lot of money to buy it. Mysterious Oriental secret technique. If you need it, please contact times. Wow. Mo is so amazing. Kendall is so happy. I want to try it too. I can spend money. I love him even more. He is just a mighty tiger. 6 hours. I don't believe it. Unless I can verify it myself. Liverpool. Melwood Training Base. Assemble. Klopp walked towards the training ground with a gloomy face. He looked at Chen Mo and Arnold sternly. Chen Mo was still full of energy and didn't seem to be affected at all. Arnold looked exhausted. The others looked at the two of them with a look of watching the fun. As soon as Chen Mo arrived in the locker room, these guys almost knelt down to Chen Mo. Just to ask about the mysterious Oriental secret technique. Chen Mo had no choice but to teach them a move that could strengthen it. Arnold. Go run 50 laps for me. If this happens again in the future, you will go to the second team. Klopp yelled at Arnold. Arnold accepted the punishment sadly and started to run laps alone. Then Klopp glanced at Chen Mo, and then there was no follow-up. Chen Mo has made it public. She is in a relationship with Kendall. And Chen Mo is in good condition. He can't interfere with what happens between couples. What's more, Klopp also wants to learn Oriental secret techniques. Episode 63, Consecutive Goal Droughts. The Kardashian Curse, will the supernova fall? After running 50 laps, Arnold was exhausted. The key is that Klopp did not give him any rest. It was obvious. Klopp definitely wanted to teach the Prince of Liverpool a hard lesson and let him remember it. But this is exactly why Klopp values Arnold's performance. In this world, too many talented players, after becoming famous at a young age, began to be dazzled by the colorful world outside. Alcohol, media, money, women. All of these will make those players who amazed the world become a meteor, disappearing in an instant and annihilating everyone. What they lack most in their careers is a strong head coach. A godfather who can help them grow and pull them back from the wrong path. Arnold is lucky. He has a teacher like Klopp. The key is that Arnold dare not be dissatisfied. His respect for Klopp makes him unable to resist Klopp at all. After a training session, Arnold, who had already run 50 laps, was specially increased by Klopp in training. The moment the training ended, Arnold seemed to let go of the breath he had been holding. He fell directly on the grass. Klopp walked directly to Arnold and looked down at him. Remember, every time you indulge, you need to double your efforts to catch up. Otherwise, you will fall behind. Once you fall behind, everything you have now will leave you. Those women will leave you. All the praise will turn into a derogation of you. The higher the praise, the more derogation you will return in multiples. After saying that, Klopp turned and left the training ground. However, he left very slowly, as if he was hesitant, and he didn't make up his mind after several pauses. Finally, at the moment when he was about to leave the training ground, Klopp made up his mind. Mo. Come to my office before going home. $789. After getting Chen Mo's affirmative answer, Klopp turned and left the training ground. Why am I the only one who is unlucky? Seeing Chen Mo coming to him, Arnold finally asked what he had always wondered about. On the headlines, causing a sensation in public opinion. It was obviously him and Chen Mo. And it was obvious that Chen Mo's news was more public opinion. But why was he the only one punished? You deserve it. Chen Mo rolled his eyes at him. Nonsense. Arnold climbed up. We are almost the same, this is not fair at all. Upon hearing this, Chen Mo quickly took a step back and drew a line with Arnold without hesitation. You and I are two different things. Your private life is messy. You are just playing around with so many women when you go out to sea. I was in a normal relationship. Normal behavior between lovers. It just took a little longer. In essence, I belong to the category of normal life. This time it was Arnold who rolled his eyes. I suspect you are showing off to me. This will easily make me feel inferior. 6 hours. Why? Arnold admitted that he was hit and was very envious. Okay. Go take a shower, then go home and have a good rest. There is a game tomorrow. Chen Mo waved his hand and went to the locker room. In fact, Chen Mo still couldn't figure out why Klopp called him to the office alone. Is it because there are too many people, so he gave him face and prepared to scold him alone? But he is also innocent. Who would have thought? There are paparazzi so crazy? Not only did they follow him all the way, but they also tracked him 24 hours a day and squatted on his balcony for a whole night. And they recorded it. My glorious image was ruined by those two guys. Tit. It seems that my image now seems to be even more glorious. Took a shower and changed clothes. Chen Mo came to Klopp's office. Sit down. Klopp saw Chen Mo coming in. Immediately stood up and poured water for Chen Mo. Boss. What's the matter with you leaving me alone? Chen Mo asked Klopp. Mo. I understand that I shouldn't interfere with your private life. It's normal for you to fall in love. But you must be restrained. The Kardashian family is not a good person. Many NBA stars have rapidly declined because of them and become indistinguishable from the crowd. Klopp said earnestly. You still have a bright future and a brilliant career waiting for you. Don't let yourself fall. Chen Mo was a little helpless. He was tired. I didn't want to explain too much. Mendes found him the next day and gave him a lot of earnest advice. But he only asked one question in return. Do you think my strength will decline because of those things? Finally, Mendes hung up the phone with a curse. He really couldn't refute it. Who made Chen Mo train vigorously the next day like nothing happened? Only Kendall stayed in bed for a day. She followed Chen Mo back to Liverpool and stayed there for 2 days, and finally left in a hurry to return to America because she said she had work. But what's the truth? Only Kendall knew that she couldn't stand it anymore and needed to rest. I know. Chen Mo gave Klopp a positive answer. That's good. Klopp nodded. He said these things, not because he was really worried. Only he was not worried at all. He said these just to use these as an opening statement. Although he was a little embarrassed, Klopp finally spoke. That Mo. That Oriental secret technique. Chen Mo looked at Klopp fiercely. I didn't expect it. You, a man with thick eyebrows and big eyes, actually also. That. My second married wife, just. Klopp looked embarrassed. Duh. It's hard for Klopp. The Premier League, which had been calm for a while, has reignited the flames of war. The match day is coming. All Premier League players have returned their attention to the game. All major teams have also begun to build up their momentum again. Only Manchester United is still in a mess. The chaos in the management has delayed their selection of coaches. Mourinho's departure has led to a complete outbreak of locker room problems. Lukaku, Sanchez, Ibrahimovic. These players who were promoted by Mourinho to join the team have become isolated at this moment. They have been put on the cleaning list. Among them, Ibrahimovic directly announced that he would terminate his contract with the Summer League. Lukaku and Sanchez have also appeared in transfer news. All kinds of news are flying everywhere. The result is such a mess. The Manchester City derby is coming. Giggs, who was appointed as the interim head coach, also chose not to pretend after Mourinho blasted him. Mourinho's direct followers were all pressed on the bench. A lineup full of Red Devils DNA was arranged to face the powerful Manchester City. The result? They were beaten. A 90-minute game. Manchester City helped them recall the nightmare at Anfield. 7 o'clock, the same score. It was also a derby. The same blood feud. Manchester United fans collapsed. Some fans who were mentally broken actually climbed to the rooftop. In the chaotic news, Liverpool also welcomed their opponents. Watford. A team that is not too strong and belongs to the Premier League promotion and relegation. Often appear in the Premier League, but almost always travel in the season. It is difficult to stay in the Premier League completely and stably. Although it is a weak team. But it cannot be taken seriously. There are no weak teams in the Premier League. Especially the teams that have already started to relegation, that is the most terrible. They will really fight hard. Liverpool still arranged a 352 formation. Still with Chen Mo as the core. However, Klopp has an order, while ensuring victory in the game. The team should play the game mainly with defensive counterattacks. The Champions League quarterfinals are coming soon. The opponent is Manchester City. Klopp wants to train his troops through the game before the quarterfinals. Changed the lineup system. And it didn't take long. He needs to find out the team's problems through the game. Especially in defense. So the game against Watford became a typical offensive and defensive battle. Less than 10 minutes after the game started, Liverpool used Chen Mo's 20-meter straight pass to penetrate Watford's entire midfield defense. He assisted Maine with an accurate assist and scored the leading goal. Then Liverpool began to play defensive counterattacks. Especially according to Liverpool's requirements. Chen Mo's position should be a little forward. Because Chen Mo is in the defensive midfielder position, the defensive coverage area is too large. The entire midfield is covered. It does not give the opponent any chance to put pressure on the defense line. Once Chen Mo is in front, the opponent suddenly counterattacks quickly, and Chen Mo does not get into position in time. The problem of the defense line will be exposed. So Klopp now wants to simulate this situation and let Chen Mo retreat and not get into position in time. In this way, the pressure resistance of the defense line can be tested. Find out the problem of the defense line. Don't say it. In this way, Klopp really found the problem. 3-back system. Robertson was not adapted. He did not cooperate well with Lovren and Van Dijk. And Robertson always wanted to get in. And there is Karius. In the 76th minute of the game, Watford made a quick counterattack. This led to a corner kick opportunity. The result? Karius lost his hand in the save, resulting in the opponent equalizing the score. But Klopp was grinning. Karius has obviously become a bomb in the goalkeeper position. The key is that you really don't know when the opponent will explode. He is very stable on weekdays. But suddenly he will be out of shape, butter hands, lost his hand, slow to react, and most importantly, he will not make low-level mistakes. Once such a problem occurs in a key battle, it will definitely be very fatal. But the second and third goalkeepers are not capable enough. There is no way to replace Karius. Now is not the transfer period, there is no time to buy a new goalkeeper. Klopp is very worried. Finally. Against Watford, Liverpool won with a score of 2-1. In the final stoppage time, Chen Mo stole the ball from the opponent's feet and quickly launched a counterattack. A long pass found Main, who dribbled the ball through and made a kick. Solanke headed in and scored the winning goal. A game was over. Some media began to promote Chen Mo's decline. 5 steals. 42% defensive success rate. 1 assist. Chen Mo got the worst data since joining Liverpool. Some media outlets have been promoting it. The Kardashian curse has begun to unfold. Chen Mo's goal drought. Chen Mo was grinning. The data gap is indeed true, but that was Klopp's request. He asked Chen Mo to let the opponent attack the back line and find faults for the team. Against Watford, Klopp even planned to lose. These outsiders don't know. It's understandable to say bad things about him. The Kardashian curse. This is because Kendall's family is dragged down. Her sisters are indeed somewhat poisonous. This is an unprovoked disaster. Chen Mo was dismissive of this. After all, he knew what was going on. Kendall was very aggrieved and a little angry, and Chen Mo didn't go out of his way to comfort her for a long time. But publicizing his goal drought. This is fucking outrageous. I am a defensive midfielder. A defensive midfielder is not a striker terminator, so the goal drought should not be related to me. Indeed, he scored in consecutive games, which made everyone ignore his position. But if he didn't score in one game, it would be a goal drought? This made him very speechless. However, public opinion did not attract much attention. After all, Manchester City's bloodbath of Manchester United in the same city attracted more attention. The media were all staring at Manchester United, and the fans were also eating melons about Manchester United, and no one paid attention to him. I thought it was over. But who knew that after the game against Crystal Palace, these hyped remarks caused a huge sensation. In the game against Crystal Palace, Klopp still chose to train his troops and tried new possibilities. The most important thing is to train his troops, requiring Chen Mo to make arrangements and form cooperation with his teammates. See if the overall impact can expose new problems. If the game is lost, it is lost. Manchester United fell behind. Liverpool's fight for the top 4 is already stable. Now Klopp has put all his experience on the Champions League. It must be before the Champions League. The new tactical system and tactical formation must be run in. This led to Chen Mo not exerting his strength. Because his strength can cover up too many problems. In Klopp's words, Liverpool now does not need him to carry the team alone. He can play more easily and there is no need to consume more of his energy in making up for the team's problems. In this way, he can play better and bring more benefits to the team. So, Lees, in the game against Crystal Palace, Chen Mo had no assists, no goals. Only 6 steals. The performance was also top-notch. But public opinion has changed. Those media reporters seem to have found a new hot spot and began to madly point the public opinion at Chen Mo. British media. When you perform well, they will crazily pursue you and wish to give you all the praise in the world. But when you perform poorly, they will immediately point the spearhead at you and put pressure on you unscrupulously to ensure that they have enough hot spots and news. What they are best at is creating stars, and then taking advantage of the opponent's performance fluctuations to decisively destroy it. Apparently they targeted Chen Mo this time. At the post-match press conference, the reporters' questions were very sharp. Mr. Klopp, Chen Mo's performance is getting worse and worse, and he has a goal drought? Can he still guarantee his starting position? 6 steals. Didn't you see this data? Klopp asked back, is this performance very poor? The following words are interrogative sentences. But the reporter didn't understand at all, and directly recorded it as an affirmative sentence. After not scoring in consecutive games, Mo started a goal drought. Do you think this has something to do with his relationship with Kendall? The curse of the Kardashian family is about to appear on Chen Mo. What do you think about this? Chen Mo's performance is poor. Is it because of Kendall? Will he start to fall from this? All kinds of questions were thrown to Klopp. Klopp also patiently answered them. But the reporters obviously didn't take it seriously, and they took their own words and recorded them out of context according to their own needs. For example, Klopp determined that Chen Mo's performance was very poor. Chen Mo is about to become another victim of the Kardashian family. Kendall caused Chen Mo's form has declined and he is scoring goals. Klopp used tactical problems to cover up the fact. Anyway, what they mean is, Chen Mo was harmed by Kendall Jenner. He will be like the ex-boyfriends of the Kardashian sisters. His form will decline and he will be lost in the crowd. Liverpool's supernova will soon fall. Episode 64, a solo breakthrough, a heavy artillery attack. Conti, this is called a decline in form? Liverpool. In the Villa restaurant, Kendall served the steak to the table, picked up the phone and called Chen Mo, who was training in the back garden court, to have dinner. Ran back to America to rest for a few days. Then quickly finished a series of work in America and rushed to Liverpool. I really couldn't bear it. But the relationship had just been confirmed, and there was a little bit of a feeling of being apart for a while. Kendall wanted to stay with Chen Mo all day. Maybe it's because she's young. Not mature enough, not evolved into a qualified Kardashian girl. It's different from her sisters now. Still longing for a lifelong love. It could also be Chen Mo, who completely fits the image of the Prince Charming in her heart. Or that night. Completely conquered. In short, Kendall is now devoted to Chen Mo, becoming a love-brained person who is completely in love. Even in the few days after returning to America. All male friends and suitors were deleted and all contact was cut off. And she said not to harass her, she was worried that Chen Mo would misunderstand. She also discussed with her sisters. She would shift her work focus in the future and try to arrange all the work in Europe. It would be best to arrange it in England. Her sisters were very supportive. Maybe they loved their sister, or maybe they thought Chen Mo was a potential stock. In short, they agreed with Kendall's decision. They also jointly invested to help Kendall buy houses in London and Liverpool for Kendall to live and work. She hung up the phone. Kendall poured herself a glass of water, sat down at the dining table, and read the football news. She didn't know much about football before. She didn't read much football news. She only knew a little about the NBA. But because of Chen Mo, Kendall began to subconsciously browse football news. As a result, she saw the media singing bad news about Chen Mo. Analysis: Chen Mo's recent goal shortage and serious decline in form are all due to the Kardashian curse. Because of her girlfriend, Chen Mo has lost interest in football. Some fans, especially those female fans of Chen Mo, they began to attack her crazily, insulting her in various ways. Kendall couldn't help but get angry. She was not angry because she was being scolded. She had already prepared for the worst since she started to take action against Chen Mo. To take down a popular person is destined to become a female public enemy. Look at Beckham's wife, Victoria Beckham, who is still being chased and scolded even now. What's more, the number of female fans of Chen Mo is more terrible than that of Beckham in the past. She had already prepared to be chased and scolded. But what really made her angry was those people who badmouthed Chen Mo. Especially some media, reporters, and commentators who swore to guarantee Chen Mo 887 is just a flash in the pan. She will soon be forgotten by everyone and will never become a superstar. There is also a reporter who frantically analyzed Chen Mo in his article. He said that Chen Mo has been thoroughly studied by major teams. He has reached the upper limit of his career. His previous outstanding performance was just because of good luck and hit the opponent's information blind spot. Best. Kent was so angry that she gnashed her teeth. She wanted to find those who said bad things about her man and tear their mouths apart. After returning from the small stadium, Chen Mo put down the football, washed his hands and sat down at the dining table, only to find Kendall gritting his teeth. He couldn't help but wonder. What's wrong? Who made you unhappy? While asking, Chen Mo also had a guess in his heart and added a comforting sentence. Don't take those bad comments too seriously. There's nothing I can do. Who made our Chen Mo a famous handsome man in Europe? Tang monks meet in the eyes of countless female fans. If you are my girlfriend, you will definitely be envied and hated. I won't be angry because of those comments about me. Kendall pursed her lips. I won't be unhappy no matter what they say. What's wrong? Chen Mo couldn't help but be more confused. Kendall said angrily, those media reporters are too much. It's just that you haven't performed well recently, they won't belittle you to the point of being worthless, right? That's it. Chen Mo couldn't help but suddenly realized and laughed. British media is like this. They are more terrible than any other media in the world. Do you know what they like to do most? While eating beef, he joked with Kendall. What? Kendall was quite curious about Chen Mo's question. They love to create stars, and then completely destroy the new stars they created. Many talented players in England cannot realize their talents because of these media, and then become mediocre. The steak is not bad. Chen Mo thinks the taste is very suitable. Kendall was also concerned. She knew that Chen Mo did not like to eat raw meat, so the steak was well done. Then you are not angry? After listening to Chen Mo's answer, Kendall immediately began to worry about her man. I'm not angry. Chen Mo shrugged, continued to eat a bite of steak, and then said, this public opinion is nothing compared to being forced to terminate the contract by Barcelona and being banned by the Dragon Football Association for participating in naturalization. Besides, I didn't really perform badly. The team is testing, Beeb, a new tactical system. The boss thinks I am too capable and has covered up too many problems of the team. So he asked me to let the team's problems that I covered up be exposed so that he can solve the problems. This is a positive improvement for the team. After the improvement, it will also make me play more easily and give full play to my strength. I will definitely cooperate. Kendall breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this. So that's the case. Then why don't you explain? Seeing Kendall asking this, Chen Mo couldn't help but think of Klopp, who was angry after seeing the report. He couldn't help laughing. It's useless to explain. Those guys just want to hear what they want to hear. Look at what our boss said after explaining for a long time, but it was taken out of context. After seeing the report, he was so angry that he cursed and banned several media in a row. What's more, football has never been spoken with words, it must be proved by games, and it's fun to slap them in the face. Now the trial and error are almost the same. We are about to go to London to play Chelsea. The opponent is a strong team. They will definitely not let us go like this. Kendall was completely relieved. She was really a little worried that Chen Mo would abandon her because of the public opinion and the so-called Kardashian curse. In fact, she couldn't figure it out. At the beginning, she approached Chen Mo purely because Chen Mo was handsome and famous. She wanted to use Chen Mo to improve her global reputation. But I don't know what's going on. Chen Mo seemed to have a magic power that made her fall in love with him. She couldn't help but want to be his dog. Can I go to the scene to watch you play? Kendall asked. Of course. Chen Mo nodded and agreed. I'll ask my assistant to give you the ticket. Chelsea. Premier League Big Six member. London powerhouse. In the new century, with the acquisition of the Tsarist oligarch Abramovich, a huge investment was made into a wealthy team. Mourinho also injected the soul of the iron-blooded Blue Army. No team in the Premier League dares to underestimate it. Last season, Italian coach Conte took over the team, reshaped the team's tactical system, and won the Premier League championship in one fell swoop. This season, due to injuries, the team fell behind. Currently in the state of fighting for the top four. For them. In this game with Liverpool, whether they can get 3 points, cheering whether they can beat Arsenal to get the top four. So this game, Chelsea will certainly go all out. Liverpool will not let the other side take 3 points at will. Although Liverpool's top four is not a big problem at present, it is still a little unstable after all. 3 more points can make the top four more secure. They can also go into the Champions League with ease. So both teams are determined to win this game. On the day of the game, Stamford Bridge was full. The Blues fans followed the visiting Liverpool fans who came on the expedition, and the two sides began to cheer. Don't look at the small number of Liverpool fans. But they are not afraid of each other at all. Sing together, you will never walk alone. With their singing, they suppressed the Blues fans. The two teams also walked out of the player channel. Abramovich sat down, accompanied by a group of club executives. His eyes swept over the players on the field. Finally stopped on Chen Mo. I didn't expect it. In such a short time, his value has reached 100 million euros. Abramovich's eyes were full of greed. Is it possible to buy him in the summer window? He asked the club's top management. All the top management were silent, and no one answered Abramovich. They all knew. Liverpool would never sell Chen Mo. Chen Mo was not a player who played for money. His family and background were no worse than his boss, the oligarch. Without money, Chelsea had zero appeal to Chen Mo. Abramovich sighed heavily. He knew the answer, but he couldn't help but have hope. If he could join Chelsea, the midfield formed with Kanté and Fabregas would definitely be the best in the world. By another top winger, plus Hazard and Giroud, Chelsea could create a dynasty as powerful as Barcelona's Dream 3. The top management nodded. They also knew that if what Abramovich said could be realized, Chelsea would definitely sweep across Europe. But it was obvious. This was impossible. What was the result of the contact with Mourinho? Abramovich asked again. Conte's dominance made their relationship become like fire and water. And Abramovich was also very dissatisfied. Conte's current team performance reminded him of Mourinho's goodness. So he sent someone to contact Mourinho. He gave a positive answer. As long as he can buy Mourinho, he cannot ask for an annual salary. The senior management smiled bitterly. Abramovich smiled bitterly and shook his head. Keep in touch. Try it in the summer window. TV1. This is TV1 Sports Channel. We will bring you the Premier League, Chelsea's home game against Liverpool. I am the commentator of this game, Jean Jun. I am Jean Lu. It was still the familiar opening remarks. Players from both teams have entered the field. First, let me introduce the starting lineups of both teams. Chelsea, playing at home, has set up a 3,511 formation. Goalkeeper, Courtois. Defenders, Azpilicueta. Gary Cahill. Rudiger. Midfielders, Moses. Fabregas. Kanté. Bakayoko. Marcos Alonso. Attacking midfielder, Hazard. Center forward, Giroud. Liverpool, playing away, has still set up a 352 formation that has been used in recent games. Goalkeeper, Karius. Defenders, Lovren. Van Dijk. Matip. Midfielders, Arnold. Henderson. Chen Mo. Milner. Robertson. Forwards, Solanke. Main. This game is also the focus of the Premier League. Red versus blue. The two strongest defensive midfielders currently in service, Kanté, known as the Barrier, and Chen Mo, known as the Destroyer, are facing each other for the first time. Next, will Chen Mo steal the ball from Kanté, or will Kanté steal the ball from Chen Mo? Everyone can look forward to it. As soon as Jean Jun finished speaking, the people watching the live broadcast started to discuss. Many people were pessimistic about Chen Mo, and some were disappointed with Chen Mo. I support Kanté. Chen Mo is in a bad state recently. I also think Kanté is stronger. It might be hard to say before, but now, I think Kanté has a better chance of winning. Chen Mo has been ruined by Kendall Jenner of the Kardashian family. Look at what he played in the first 2 games. Not up to expectations. Instead of playing football, he did something useless. The Kardashian family is the nemesis of the sports world. Not enough about the NBA, they also come to the football world. Young and famous, just glanced at it. He dared to stick to a female fairy like Kendall Jenner. Is he in trouble now? I think Chen Mo is still capable. He didn't play well in 2 games, there is no need to sentence him to death. Come on. He is ruined. He didn't play well in 2 games. If he can't play well in 2 games, he can play badly in 3 games, 5 games. Duh. A whistle sounded. The game officially started. Liverpool had the ball first. Solanke passed the ball back to Chen Mo. In an instant, all Chelsea players started to move. Kanté waved his arms vigorously on the sidelines, signaling them to press Chen Mo, and roared loudly. He's not in good condition now. Take advantage of his illness to kill him. Grab him. Chen Mo also heard the voice. He was originally planning to pass the ball, but he immediately changed his assistant. He started to sprint forward with the ball. Facing Giroud, who rushed over, he made a quick bull tail, which made Giroud dizzy. He easily shook off the opponent. Then he continued to sprint forward with the ball. Facing Hazard, who came up to put pressure on him, Chen Mo was unceremonious. He made a fake move of spiking and changing direction, which shook Hazard's center of gravity. Then he pulled the ball suddenly and pushed the ball in the opposite direction quickly. Hazard was out of reach. He watched Chen Mo pass in front of him. The Green Elf's super ball control ability was fully demonstrated. Although he didn't have Maradona's moment of passing 5 people in a row, the fake move was absolutely top-notch. At this time, Kanté rushed over, and the hurdle was in front of Chen Mo. Kanté stared at the ball under his feet, not paying any attention to his fake moves. He himself has top-notch defensive ability. Naturally, he knew how to deal with Kanté. He quickly broke through to the left. Kanté followed closely behind, pounced to the left, and raised his foot accurately to the ball. If it were an ordinary person, he would be intercepted. But Chen Mo has a god-level predictive ability. He paused and pulled the ball, and then his toes suddenly lifted the ball horizontally. He lifted the ball from Kanté's head to his back. Kanté is not tall and his jumping ability is not good, which is his disadvantage. So Chen Mo naturally has to take advantage of it. Sure enough. Although Kanté reacted and turned very quickly, he still couldn't stop Chen Mo at the moment he turned. Chen Mo had already jumped up to stop the ball with his chest, and with the inertia of the forward movement, he passed in front of him with the ball. Just as Fabregas and Bakayoko rushed up from both sides to fill the position and close the door on him. System uses the skill Carlos Heavy Cannon. Use successfully. Get a prompt response. Chen Mo made a violent volley. The football, like a cannonball, flew out in an instant. It whizzed through the gap between the two. It broke through the Chelsea defense line, and Courtois had no time to react. The ball had already appeared in the goal. The whole stadium was silent in an instant. Kanté in the coaching area also stood there in a daze. Now he just wanted to ask those media reporters, what is this called, a decline in form? Episode 65, King of Stamford Bridge. Lucky Halo, being shot in the head is not a good thing. The referee blew the whistle. He raised his hand and pointed to the center circle to indicate that the goal was valid. 1 o'clock, instantly. The Liverpool fans in the stands gave a deafening shout. The omnipotent Mo. They shouted excitedly. Once again, they raised their arms high and made a worship gesture towards Chen Mo, who rushed to the stands, opened his arms, puffed out his chest, and celebrated like a king. Although Chen Mo's performance in the first 2 games was not good. But they always felt that Chen Mo would not fall. Facing the media reporters, other team celebrities, and commentators' pessimism, they supported him silently from beginning to end. But his heart was full of frustration. At this moment, all the frustration was completely released. The omnipotent Mo is back. Their Anfield past opened their arms again and dominated Stamford Bridge with an extremely strong attitude. He slapped those guys who pessimistic about him hard. Kendall came to watch the game. When Chen Mo scored, like all Liverpool fans, she jumped up from her seat excitedly. She screamed wildly at the field. "Dear! You are the best. You are the strongest. Let those people who are full of shit die." She shouted excitedly. She had never watched football live, but she was already excited by Chen Mo's goal and the cheers of Liverpool fans. Especially seeing her man rush to the fan stands, with his arms open and dominating the world. And Liverpool fans shouted his name and worshipped him. Kendall felt her whole body trembling with excitement. She clearly felt the charm of football. This is football. It can make people's adrenaline soar instantly. Looking at the scene in front of her, she was full of admiration for her man, and the pride in her heart was beyond words. She wanted to ask everyone loudly immediately. "That's my man. Isn't he awesome? Beautiful." The ball went in. Less than 5 minutes into the game. 1 o'clock. Liverpool took the lead. Facing the Chelsea players forward pressing. After receiving the pass from Solanke, Chen Mo did not choose to pass the ball or cooperate with his teammates. He chose the craziest way to deal with it. Breaking through the barriers alone. Starting from the middle, he passed Giroud, Hazard, and Kanté in succession. With Fabregas and Bakayoko double-teaming him from both sides, he was about to close the door and block the ball. Raise your foot and shoot decisively. A heavy cannon shot through the double-teaming of 2 people, broke through Chelsea's defense, and forcefully opened the door held by Courtois. Courtois didn't even have a chance to react. This goal was entirely Chen Mo's. A goal full of personal heroism. Chen Mo, who scored the goal, rushed to the stands and opened his arms to receive the worship of his subjects. This moment. Chen Mo reigns at Stamford Bridge, the moment the goal was scored. Jean Jun in the broadcast room jumped up excitedly. Zhang Lu next to him was so scared that his heart almost jumped out. Jean Jun has been opposing since the British media collectively criticized Chen Mo. It has been explained that Chen Mo's state has not declined. Later, Longwa fans began to collectively abuse Chen Mo for not living up to expectations. Jean Jun still kept explaining to the fans. Said that it was Klopp's tactical arrangement, Chen Mo's performance, everything was to cooperate with the testing of the new tactical system. But there are very few people who understand football. There are many people who just want to curse. Jean Jun was also labeled as someone who was whitewashing Chen Mo, and was criticized by some people. He was so frustrated these days. The moment Chen Mo scored a goal, he was so proud. He even yelled without any scruples. "Heisey, speak up, my face hurts. I don't want to talk. It's just luck. I scored a goal with a single kick. What's so great about it? No. I'll have to swim naked soon. Try to fool me. 1,000-mile journey alone." He passed 3 people in a row, and then scored with a 35-meter long-range shot. "If you can do it, I'll eat shit upside down." The key points. There was a hurdle in passing 3 people in a row. If passing Kanté doesn't prove his strength, then I really have nothing to say. Heisey is convinced. His face is swollen. He wouldn't be so cruel, right? I fucking seemed to see Kaká's figure the moment he passed Kanté. I almost thought it was Ronaldinho who came back. Spirit-like passing. This ball control ability. Chen Mo's talent is fucking overflowing in my face, duh. Stamford Bridge was filled with boos. Some Chelsea fans cursed wildly at the field. There were also some fans who were close to Chen Mo, throwing debris at the field crazily. Lighters. Water cups. But these guys were furious. They actually dominated the world at Stamford Bridge, which was simply a huge provocation to them, Chelsea. Security personnel were dispatched quickly. They stopped the Chelsea fans, who were overwhelmed by anger and lost their reason from falling off the stands. Chen Mo didn't care about the debris thrown down. After the celebration, he high-fived his teammates one after another and ran back to his own half. Chelsea would never give up after being ahead at the beginning. They would definitely counterattack crazily. After all, losing the ball at the beginning would definitely be unacceptable. Counterattack is inevitable. Chen Mo only felt a large wave of negative emotions coming towards him. As expected. Chelsea's ball possession. When the game resumed, Giroud immediately passed the ball back to Hazard behind him. #9. Press forward. press forward the formation and reduce Liverpool's living space. Conte, Conor Langsy, jumped and yelled on the field. He is a real Conor Langsy. Based on defense and counterattack. But that was normal times. Once the team fell behind, Conte really dared to go all in and fight the opponent desperately. They lost a goal less than 10 minutes into the game. It was Chen Mo who he was going to take advantage of. How could Conor Langsy still sit still? If Liverpool really let their morale rise, even if his team's defense was good, it would be difficult to withstand the attack. The heavy metal storm is no joke. It really blew. Mad dogs flew all over the field. That was a heavy metal tornado, but it would destroy everything. After receiving the order from his own head coach, Hazard immediately took the ball and started his forward breakthrough. The current Hazard is the peak of the ball king, not the Burger King of Real Madrid later. A song of pear blossoms. Passing the opponent's entire defense. His dribbling speed is very fast, and the moment he breaks through with the ball, Solanke and Maine rushed forward. They wanted to interrupt Hazard's dribbling rhythm and snatch the ball from his feet. But Hazard easily stuffed the ball between the two with a casual fried meatball. The man bypassed the two of them, quickly caught up with the ball, and continued to break through with the ball. Henderson and Milner saw this and were ready to rush up and join forces to close another door for Hazard. But before they could act, Chen Mo had already rushed up. He was directly across the path that Hazard had to pass. Hazard's passing style is different from Messi and Ronaldo. He doesn't rely on fake moves, quick changes of direction, or frequent movements. His footwork is very fast and he has strong ball control. It seems that dribbling and breaking through are slow. But in fact, his rhythm changes very quickly. At the moment of passing, he uses quick rhythm changes, small tricks under his feet, and physical confrontation. Just like now. He keeps shaking the ball with his right foot and moves to the right side of Chen Mo. Suddenly, the rhythm speeds up, and his right foot dunks the ball to the left front, and his body quickly follows. If Chen Mo hadn't had a god-level prediction, he would have taken action in advance and moved to the left first. This sudden change of rhythm would have been hard for Chen Mo to keep up. Seeing that Chen Mo's lateral movement blocked his breakthrough space, he dunked the ball quickly. He dumped the ball back to his left foot, turned quickly and protected the ball with his body, not giving Chen Mo a chance to stretch his foot to steal the ball. Then, he paused. Another quick change of rhythm. He pulled the ball with his right foot and turned around, while his body was also confronting Chen Mo. He tried to use this method to push Chen Mo's center of gravity away. He completed the breakthrough from Chen Mo's left side. Hazard's body, which looked a little fat, did not match the body shape that a professional player should have. In fact, it helped him a lot in physical confrontation. Especially in the Premier League, where physical confrontation is fierce, it is very useful. Ordinary defensive players really can't stand his body, coupled with the rapid rhythm change. But Chen Mo has the talent for top confrontation and was not resisted by Hazard. And he predicted again and moved to the right first, blocking Hazard's breakthrough space again. Hazard failed to break through again. He quickly controlled the ball and pulled it back, moving to the side suddenly, pulling away from Chen Mo to prevent Chen Mo from stealing the ball. His two big eyes were as big as copper bells. It seemed that Chen Mo was full of shock. He had never expected that his two consecutive breakthroughs would not succeed. The most important thing was that his body was unclear. Looking at Chen Mo's small body, it doesn't look like he can withstand his physical confrontation. From Hazard's negative emotion value, plus 215, Hazard is not the kind of player with strong mental attributes. And he is very competitive. Otherwise, he would not have quickly become a historical dud after transferring to Real Madrid and not being suitable for the tactical system. He mainly plays the principle that nothing is difficult in the world as long as you are willing to give up. If you can't get past Chen Mo, then pass the ball and cooperate with your teammates. There is no need to be hard on yourself. So after his second failed breakthrough, he quickly controlled the ball and distanced himself from Chen Mo. He looked up and observed the position of his teammates. He immediately passed the ball. But at the moment of passing the ball, Chen Mo predicted that he was going to pass the ball to Fabregas. So he quickly moved ahead. At the moment Hazard passed the ball, he accurately appeared on the passing route. He raised his foot to intercept the ball. He completed the interception of the football. And then, Chen Mo quickly dribbled forward. Kanté quickly retreated and rushed up from his side and back. Kanté is different from most defensive midfielders. He can play defensive midfielder very well. The key lies in his super predictive ability, excellent stealing ability, and the amazing running position. He can always suddenly rush out from the unexpected position of the opponent's ball-holding player. Like an assassin in the dark night. He suddenly rushed out from the blind spot of vision and took the ball away with a precise steal, just like taking the head of the assassination target. Fortunately, Chen Mo had already noticed Kanti through the god's perspective. Otherwise, it would be very tricky to rush out from the blind spot of vision. He raised his foot and stepped on the ball and stopped suddenly. He leaned against Kanti with his body and protected the ball in front of him. Kanti's sneak attack failed. Bakayoko rushed up suddenly, trying to cooperate with Kanti to form a front and back attack on Chen Mo. But Chen Mo raised his head in an instant. Solanke, Main, Chamberlain, Arnold, all quickly advanced and entered Chelsea's backcourt. Solanke and Main even directly entered Chelsea's penalty area. For a time, Chelsea's penalty area was in a state of panic. Chelsea's defensive players quickly retreated into the penalty area. Bang! Chen Mo kicked the bottom of the football. It was a very confusing outside instep pass. The players in Chelsea's penalty area doubled up Main and Solanke. Even Marcos Alonso, who was positioned on the wing, hurriedly retreated into the penalty area. But the football drew a big arc in the air, turned a corner and did not fly into the penalty area. The direction it flew was exactly Marcos Alonso's retreat into the penalty area, causing Arnold to miss. When he reacted and quickly rushed to Arnold from the penalty area. Arnold had already lifted his leg to unload the ball and adjusted his pass. He hoisted the ball into the Chelsea penalty area, which was a little loose, and it turned out to be a false alarm. The players in Chelsea were caught off guard. Solanke jumped high. He headed the ball violently. But Courtois did not relax his vigilance, and kept his attention highly concentrated, and his whole body was on edge. The moment Solanke headed the ball, Courtois made a save. Facing the falling ball, he lifted the ball with both hands and lifted it out of the baseline. Corner kick. Solanke's header was dragged out of the baseline by Courtois. Liverpool got a corner kick opportunity. The game just now was really exciting. Hazard's magic was restricted by Chen Mo, and the ball was intercepted by Chen Mo at the moment of passing. After intercepting the ball, Chen Mo dribbled forward to attack. Kanti suddenly rushed out, but Chen Mo was more skilled and used his body to resist Kanti and protect the ball. Sure enough, the top stealer is the one who knows the top stealer best. A freehand and extremely confusing long pass with the outside of the foot found Arnold, who was missed by Chelsea on the wing. Arnold made a cross. Although Solanke's header was blocked, Liverpool's series of cooperation was indeed very exciting. The corner kick was taken by Arnold. Chen Mo stood at the top of the penalty area, ready to grab the second landing point at any time and directly shoot from a long distance. The referee blew a whistle. Arnold made a cross. There was chaos in the Chelsea penalty area. Solanke headed the ball. The ball was cleared out of the penalty area by Azpilicueta. Henderson, who came from the side, grabbed the ball before Giroud. He stopped the ball and adjusted it slightly, and passed it into the penalty area again. At the moment he passed the ball, Chen Mo, who did not grab the second point, also took the opportunity to advance into the Chelsea penalty area. There was another chaotic battle in the penalty area. Solanke won the first point, but was disturbed by Gary Cahill, causing the position of the header to be uncertain. The ball flew back. Main rushed up quickly to make up the shot. But the shot was blocked by Kanti, who was returning to defense. The shot was not strong and was blocked again. The ball slowly rolled towards the goal. Courtois rushed up quickly and kicked the ball suddenly, trying to kick the ball out. But he kicked the ball at the moment. Chen Mo, who was advancing, suddenly appeared in front of the ball. There was a crisp snap. Chen Mo's eyes went dark, a warm feeling flowed out of his nose, and he fell to the ground. The football bounced back. Courtois was unable to react and subconsciously jumped up to save the ball, but he was out of reach and the football hit the crossbar and went into the goal. Team doctor. Chen Mo, lying on the grass, only heard his teammates shouting for the team doctor to come on the field. Lucky Halo triggered randomly, hearing the system prompt sound in his mind. Chen Mo didn't know whether to be happy or sad. He now understood Lukaku very well. It was not a pleasant feeling to be shot in the head. Episode 66, A False Alarm. Manchester United's famous player is crazy about his pessimism, and he, Chen Mo, is nothing. Azpilicueta clears the ball. Henderson got the second ball first. Simple adjustment. The ball was passed into Chelsea's penalty area again. There was a fight in the penalty area. Main's follow-up shot was disturbed. Courtois cleared the ball with a long kick. Chen Mo, who had entered the penalty area, suddenly appeared in front of Courtois. The ball was cleared with a long kick, and was smothered in Chen Mo's face, and bounced into the goal. The moment the ball scored, Chen Mo fell to the ground. Whether it was the players on the field, or Zhang Jun and Zhang Lu in the broadcast room, or the head coach Klopp on the sidelines, no one was paying attention to the goal. They were all worried because of Chen Mo, who fell to the ground. They were all very nervous. Hurry up. Team doctor. Bleeding. Van Dijk and Solanke waved frantically to the sidelines. Being hit in the face at close range by a big foot is no small matter. A broken nose and nosebleed are minor. A spot in the eye can cause a person to go into shock. The team doctor rushed up. Klopp was anxious on the sidelines. After Chen Mo fell, he lay on the grass motionless. He was almost scared to death. If it weren't for the restrictions of the game rules, he would have wanted to rush up himself. The players on the Chelsea side seemed to feel something was wrong. Courtois, who was closest to Chen Mo, was frightened and waved vigorously to the sidelines. Team doctor, come up. Quick. He may be in shock. He called for his own team doctor to come up and help. Hearing Courtois' roar, the Chelsea team doctor also ran up. At this moment, the game was already forgotten. Stamford Bridge, which had been roaring from the beginning by Chelsea fans, suddenly became quiet. Liverpool fans were even silent. They all stared at the field nervously. The eyes were full of worry for Chen Mo. Even Chen Mo, who was surrounded by the team doctors, was covered in blood. Some female fans who could not bear the pressure cried out loudly. In the stands, Kendall was even more anxious to rush down, but was stopped by the security personnel. On the court, Chen Mo surrounded himself with these team doctors. He began to check himself in various ways. He even pulled his eyes and pointed the flashlight at himself. I was just hit by the ball, he explained to the team doctor. As soon as he spoke, in an instant, all the team doctors breathed a sigh of relief. Being able to speak and explain means that there is no danger to life and no shock. Stop the bleeding from the nose first. Check the bridge of the nose. The bridge of the nose may be broken. Hearing what the team doctor said, Chen Mo also felt a burning pain in his nose, and most importantly, he had difficulty breathing. He was sure it should be the bridge of the nose that was broken. It caused swelling, so it was difficult to breathe. System, use the injury recovery card. He quickly gave the system an order in his mind. Use successfully. As the prompt sounded in his mind, the burning pain in Chen Mo's nose quickly disappeared, and his breathing became smoother. Now he didn't want to get injured. He hadn't drawn the faces of those guys who were badmouthing him yet. When he drew the injury immunity card from the system before, at the beginning of every game, he would always use the injury immunity card. But he never got it again. He only wore shin guards to prevent leg injuries. But he didn't expect that. The injuries were all in his head. The last time he used the injury recovery card, it was also because of a head injury, and this time it was still in his head. This sounded the alarm for Chen Mo. Injury is a serious problem that he should be vigilant about. Now he doesn't even know which female model fan has the shin guards. The injury immunity card is gone. Even if there is an injury recovery card, it is not safe. The injury recovery card can only completely recover minor injuries, and for some major injuries, it can only recover 80%. In other words, he may still get injured. He still has to work hard. Try to get more negative emotion points and draw to arm himself. Not to mention the road to 100% elimination of injuries. Draw a few more injury immunity cards, and sleep with shin guards. Not bad. The bridge of the nose is not broken. It's just a little bruise, not a big problem. The team doctors dare not neglect it. After stopping the bleeding from Chen Mo's nose, he carefully checked Chen Mo again. He focused on checking the bridge of the nose and whether the brain was in danger of shock or concussion. The system must be a fine product. Once the injury recovery card is used, there will naturally be no such problems. The team doctors also breathed a sigh of relief. Come off the field with us first, wash the blood off your face with water, and change your jersey. The team doctor of his own team pulled Chen Mo up. After the referee confirmed that there was no problem, the hanging heart also fell. He signaled Chen Mo to try to clean the blood and change the bloody jersey. Then he called the captains of both teams. Let the two warn the players of both teams. Be sure to pay attention to the scale. Although Courtois' big foot clearance just now hit Chen Mo's face. But that was not intentional. It was purely an accident caused by Chen Mo's sudden forward insertion. But the head coach didn't care. He was afraid. Once another player had a huge health problem in the game he was refereeing. Even life-threatening. His career would be over. In order to keep his job, he would never allow such a thing to happen. Applause from fans of both teams rang out on the field. Although Chen Mo was fine, they were all shocked, but they still applauded. No one would blame Chen Mo. After all, the situation just now really scared everyone, making everyone think that Chen Mo had a serious problem. But the applause soon ended. Thinking of the Chelsea fans who had been scored another goal, they were booed again. Let's put it in perspective. It was just a false alarm. Chen Mo is fine. Although there was a little accident just now, judging from the situation just now. It also made us discover a new bright spot in Chen Mo. His awareness of running forward is top-notch. He can accurately judge the gap between the opponent and the opponent's forward run. It can also be considered a header goal. A double goal. Zhang Jun couldn't help laughing. Zhang Lu was relieved to see that Chen Mo was fine, and she smiled and made up for it. It was indeed a double goal. It's just that the way of heading the ball is not very beautiful. It's a bit easy to hurt the nose. Zhang Jun couldn't help laughing, yes. Seeing that Chen Mo was fine. Kendall was persuaded by the security personnel to return to her position. She was already in tears. She didn't expect that football would have such a dangerous scene. Even if NBA players were injured, it didn't look so terrible. The blood on Chen Mo's face just now almost scared her to death. Seeing Chen Mo was fine, he felt relieved. Mo. How is it? Do you need me to replace you to rest? Klopp was full of worry. It's okay. Just a little accident. Chen Mo waved his hand to show that he was fine. He looked calm on the surface. He was cursing in his heart. He cursed Wu Lei. He cursed the lucky aura of the system. The movement just now was a fusion of Wu Lei's movement awareness. It was really strong, but he got hit in the face. What's even more hateful is the lucky aura. This fucking aura didn't trigger even during the game, but suddenly it triggered and hit him hard. It was simply speechless. He could even imagine how he would be laughed at by those guys who sang about him. If he was replaced like this, they would become more and more critical of him, and would use the previous one to hit him in the face to prove their statement that his previous goals were all based on luck. Chen Mo really didn't care about what those guys said. But he is also a human being. If he is always being chased and belittled, it would be strange if he doesn't have a temper. Now it's good. The glory that he had just established by riding alone at the beginning was smashed to pieces by the aura of luck. The slap in the face seemed to be returned. So he must slap a few hard slaps in the next time. Hide the embarrassment of being hit. In fact, just as Chen Mo expected. The live broadcast room of Sky Sports. Two commentators who are badmouthing Chen Mo are badmouthing him crazily. The mocking laughter is constantly echoing in the live broadcast room. The two are Manchester United legends Gary Neville and York. After they retired, they both became professional commentators. Because Chen Mo directed the massacre of Manchester United in the Red Devils, these two guys hated Chen Mo. After Chen Mo's performance in the first two games was not outstanding, the voices of badmouthing appeared. These two people immediately joined the camp of badmouthing Chen Mo. And they jumped to become the leader of the main force. He was madly kicking Chen Mo when he was down. Chen Mo's performance was only because he had benefited from something his opponent didn't understand. This was said by Gary Neville. It was York who said that Chen Mo's goal was just luck. Now Chen Mo's luck goal just now was laughed at and ridiculed by York. Together with Gary Neville, he laughed and ridiculed madly. I am dying of laughter. It's really unexpected. It's already 2018. There are still players who use their faces to score goals. Gary Neville laughed and slapped the table. York seized this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I just said it. His long-range heavy artillery was because Kanté and Hazard underestimated the enemy. It was completely a lucky goal. Look at it now. Use your face to score a goal? Is that his consciousness? It's pure luck. The two of them continued to output. The commentator who was also in the live broadcast room, their good colleague, Liverpool legend Carragher, had a dark face and raised two fingers to the two people. But he still scored twice. As soon as this was said, Gary Neville immediately refuted. You can't go far by relying on luck. Conte will not let Chelsea players continue to look down on him. The next performance. He will definitely return to the first two games, performing in a daze. York followed closely. He is simply a player hyped up by you Liverpool. He has no strength at all. It's pure luck that he can have a good performance, and there are others to help him. He has no strength at all. Pure hard black. Attributing Chen Mo's super performance to luck. Just like those who hard black Ronaldo and Messi. In this way, they get attention for themselves. This just shows that Chen Mo's influence is gradually increasing, and he has been developing in the direction of a superstar. Of course, these two people now. In addition to their own interests, they also have natural grievances. Who made Chen Mo a Liverpool player? Carragher curled his lips and looked at the two people who were talking nonsense at the moment. You two keep going. Believe me. You two will be slapped in the face soon. 2. The two curled their lips in disdain. Obviously, they didn't think so. They even thought that Chen Mo was hit in the face by the ball just now, Even if he was not seriously injured, it would have a certain impact on his condition. Chelsea is also a team known for its defense. After Kanté is no longer underestimating the enemy, Chen Mo will not have any chance. The next scene, they expected the general direction to develop. The game resumed. Chen Mo changed his jersey and returned to the court with the referee's permission. He immediately joined the siege of Fabregas, who was holding the ball. Fabregas has the delicate dribbling of the bullfighting country players. His ball control ability is also very strong. Milner, Chamberlain, these two British rough guys, are really at a disadvantage when facing Fabregas. I saw the two of them blocking from the front and back. Fabregas was not panicked at all, controlling the football under his feet and moving with delicate footwork. With a beautiful fried meatball, he easily got out of the double team. Chen Mo quickly made a substitution. Blocked Fabregas from the front and passed the ball to his teammates in the front court. Cut off Fabregas's transaction with his teammates in the front court. He saw his strength and stretched his foot decisively. He quickly and violently moved forward, squeezed Fabregas, and easily stole the ball. Fabregas' physical confrontation ability is not strong. Even though he made his debut in Arsenal in the Premier League. But physical confrontation has always been his weakness. In fact, this is also a common shortcoming of players in the bullfighting country. Most of them are technical players who rely on technology to make a living and are very resistant to physical confrontation. It is not a wise choice to deal with such players and compete with them in footwork. Only by physical confrontation can we be honest and efficient. Of course. This is why Chen Mo is better at physical confrontation than Fabregas. If it were the chariot country, the Gaul country, or the British engineer rough man, it would be rare to gain an advantage through physical confrontation. After stealing the ball, Chen Mo immediately launched a straight pass, penetrated the Chelsea midfield, and accurately found Maine. Maine cut inside and shot a cold arrow. Fortunately, Courtois was focused and took the ball down. 5.2. Coaching area. Conte frowned. He naturally found the key problem. Chen Mo is the engine of Liverpool, the core of offense and defense. While commanding the defense, he directly launched an attack at the moment the steal was completed. Efficient and concise. It is also easy to catch the opponent off guard. Kanté. You specifically stare at Chen Mo. Strangle him to death. Everyone else cheer up. Pay attention to the black-haired boy. Conte ordered to the field. The game started again. With the coach's order, Kanté immediately executed the order. He began to stare at Chen Mo, like a dogskin plaster, sticking to Chen Mo. Other Chelsea players also started to cooperate. Chen Mo was very uncomfortable being restricted. The main reason is that Kanté is too dangerous. There is such an assassin around you chasing you all the time, and sometimes he will suddenly hit you when you don't expect it. It would be strange if you could feel it. Add to that other Chelsea players use chain defense to cut off Henderson and Zellner's connection with him. Tactically, describe him as a circle of encirclement. Once he has the ball, the circle of encirclement will surround him, and there is also an assassin Kanté, who controls the ball and dribbles for him, which has a great impact. If you don't rest, you will be intercepted. Just like now. The moment Milner passed the ball to himself, the opponent suddenly rushed up to surround and block him. He just broke through Moses, and Kanté, who had not appeared, suddenly rushed out and took the ball away when he was caught off guard. Kanté completed a steal. Unspecified currency A, unspecified currency A, unspecified currency A. Seeing this scene, Gary Neville and York laughed excitedly and looked at Carragher provocatively. What did I say? If Kanté doesn't underestimate his opponent, Chen Mo will be finished. As expected. Chen Mo is nothing. As soon as Kanté gets serious, he's immediately intercepted. Episode 68, Crescent Blade. Use the pride of the Red Devils to slap the face of the Red Devils legend, the moment Kanté steals the ball from Chen Mo. The cheers of fans instantly rang out at Stamford Bridge. A Chelsea fan roared with excitement. The proud look of sticking out his chest seemed to show off to Liverpool fans. You have Chen Mo, and we have Kanté. I don't envy you at all. We have our own pride. And he is even better than your Chen Mo. Don't look at Chen Mo's long shots, passing, goals, and passing, all of which have shown shining moments. But in fact, Chen Mo's real fame is stealing. Especially before he won the man of the match, consecutively. Averaged more than 10 steals per game. Completely overshadowed Kanté. Everyone said that Chen Mo was better than Kanté. Some media even labeled Chen Mo the world's #1 steal king. Fans are all competitive. Especially like to compare their own players with others. They all say that Chen Mo is better at stealing than Kanté, but they are not convinced. I have been waiting for Kanté to face Chen Mo, because I want to vent my anger on Chen Mo. Kante's direct steal of Chen Mo just now made Chelsea fans raise their eyebrows and breathe a sigh of relief. They cheered and applauded Kante. Beautiful. Seeing Chen Mo was intercepted by Kante. The tactics he arranged were successful. Kante waved his fist excitedly and jumped up on the spot. Counterattack. Then. He hurriedly yelled at the court. Defensive counterattack. It has always been his signature dish. Kante is also his point of quick counterattack. You should know that Kante's passing ability and ability to dribble past people are also good. Although not as outstanding as Chen Mo, it has reached the world's top level. It's just that Chelsea has Hazard, and he doesn't need him to dribble past people and organize passes. So his ability has not been magnified. But he often plays a game where he launches a counterattack immediately after stealing. He took the ball. Kante made a slight adjustment and looked up to observe his teammates. He also wanted to launch a quick counterattack. But Chen Mo, who was intercepted, was only surprised for a moment, and immediately switched to defense. He moved his body quickly, blocked Kante, and launched a counterattack to pass the ball forward. At the same time, he pressed forward, further compressing Kante's space. In an instant. From attack to defense. The two changed their offense and defense. Milner and Henderson on both sides rushed forward and inserted behind Kante. After blocking Kante's turn, he gave his teammates behind him the space to pass the ball. Kante was stunned. His eyes revealed a clear stupidity. Why does this situation feel like I have seen it before? I have seen it before. Just now. This is how Chelsea dealt with Chen Mo. The pause was only 1 second. Kante started to act. He did not sit and wait for death, but quickly dribbled the ball, trying to pass from the side of Chen Mo. But at the moment when he dribbled the ball, Chen Mo crossed the west, seized the opportunity to aim at the football under Kante's feet and stretched his foot to hook the ball. DJA. A crisp sound rang out. Chen Mo passed by Kante. Kante felt his feet go empty. He looked down and saw that the ball had disappeared. Chen Mo just stretched out his foot to hook the ball, and the moment he succeeded, his supporting leg suddenly exploded. With strong, explosive power. He hooked the ball and moved forward, quickly sideways, to avoid colliding with Kante. He completed the steal and passed. He successfully avoided Kante and rushed to Chelsea's backcourt with the ball. Sky Sports live broadcast room. The previous second was full of jubilation, and Gary Neville and York, who were madly belittling Chen Mo's output, were pessimistic. It was as if someone had pressed the still button. He shut his mouth obediently. In contrast, Carragher, who had just been suppressed by the two and felt aggrieved, suddenly jumped up from his seat. He deliberately yelled at the two. Nice counter-steal. Just after Kante stole the ball from him, Chen Mo immediately switched from attack to defense and counter-stealed on the spot. Given the most powerful response. What do you two say now? Finally. Carragher deliberately asked the two. It was just luck. Gary Neville curled his lips. He is not good at speaking, but York is good at making excuses. Luck. Absolute luck. Kante just stole the ball and is still not stable. Henderson and Milner cut off his return pass. In the end, Chen Mo got the advantage. The credit actually belongs to Milner and Henderson, and has little to do with Chen Mo. Carragher looked at York, who was talking freely, and Gary Neville, who nodded frequently, in disbelief. How can there be such a shameless person in the world? It turned out that Bakayoko, Moses, and Fabregas helped Kante. Kante's steal is not good for Chen Mo. Milner and Henderson cooperated with Chen Mo, blocked. Same help, even one less than Chelsea, targeted Chen Mo. After the successful steal, Chen Mo still failed. All the credit goes to Milner and Henderson? Are you two Manchester United legends or Chelsea legends? Even Chelsea legends can't be as double-standard as you two. Chelsea fans, who were just happy for a while, instantly quieted down. They didn't expect that happiness would be so short-lived. Kante just stole the ball from Chen Mo's feet, and before the ball was warm, Chen Mo immediately counter-stealed. The truth that Chelsea had just begun to nurture was strangled in the cradle. Less than a minute after switching from defense to offense, they were forced to return to defense again. The forward players retreated one after another. The defenders ran back frantically. Bakayoko and Moses, who were advancing, braked suddenly, turned around and accelerated. Chen Mo, who was aiming at the middle and dribbling forward from the two sides, accelerated frantically. Chen Mo also noticed the two people rushing from both sides behind him and felt the danger. He immediately passed the ball. A diagonal pass. The football followed Azpilicueta, who was moving towards him, and the supporting foot fell and shuttled through the side. It happened to hit Azpilicueta's blind spot. The reason for the supporting foot. He couldn't stretch his foot to intercept. It was dark under the lamp. It passed by, you can see it, but you can't touch it. He accurately found the horse behind Azpilicueta when he attacked, and secretly inserted it from the ribs to the horse behind him. See. The moment he got the ball, Main pushed with his left foot, and then with his right foot, he rushed into Chelsea's penalty area. Danger. Stop Main. Conte in the coaching area was so scared when he saw Main easily enter the penalty area. Gary Cahill saw that the situation was not good, and rushed to Main. Azpilicueta turned around and rushed towards Main. The two reacted quickly. And Gary Cahill was very smart and blocked Main's shooting route. Main couldn't shoot. Azpilicueta rushed towards him again. Like a tank. He could only pull the ball sideways and go all the way to the bottom line. But this pull, Shen. It took some time. Chelsea players successfully got into position. The penalty area, which was too empty just now, became crowded in an instant. The key is that Chelsea's defense line retreated very deep. Main's cross from the bottom is not a good choice. Solanke is the only one in the penalty area. Even Milner and Henderson, who have entered the penalty area, are useless. Neither of them is a high point. But Azpilicueta was chasing him closely. Moses chased him from the side and back to prevent him from turning with the ball and moving back to the doctor from the bottom line of the penalty area. Main could only pass the ball. Otherwise, he would lose the ball. A cross could still score a goal, but losing the ball would waste an opportunity. Even if the chance was very small. Bang. The ball was passed by Main. In the penalty area. Chelsea players jumped up to compete for the point. Solanke was unable to turn around because of Gary Cahill's body. Watching the ball being passed in. He could only jump up with his back to the goal to compete for the header. Gary Cahill behind him jumped close to Solanke to prevent him from turning in the air and rubbing the ball with the back of his head. This time Solanke had no chance. Watching the ball fall. He grabbed the first landing point, but had no chance to threaten the goal directly, nor had the chance to turn in the air. In a hurry. He headed the ball. He hit the ball outside the penalty area and passed it to his teammate. The position of the header was not very straight. The ball flew to the front right of the penalty area. It was Henderson's position. He saw the ball being passed to him. He quickly moved to the landing point of the ball, adjusted his body, and kicked the falling ball with his foot. He was ready to kick a long shot directly. A sudden shot. But he might be too focused on the ball. He completely ignored Hazard, who rushed over from his side and back. He raised his face and aimed at the ball. He was about to hit the falling ball. Suddenly a blue figure rushed out. He also rushed out with his legs raised, like a flying kick, heading towards the ball. At the moment when Henderson's foot touched the ball, Hazard's flying kick also landed on the ball right after it. The two collided. The long shot was not successful. The ball was destroyed out of the sideline. Henderson's instep was caught by the studs exposed by Hazard's raised foot, and he screamed in pain. He also lost his balance and fell to the ground. Duh. The referee blew the whistle immediately. The game was stopped. He quickly ran to where Henderson and Hazard fell. He took out a yellow gem card from his pocket and pointed it at Hazard, who was getting up from the ground. You just raised your foot too high and exposed the studs. The action of fighting is also very dangerous. Pay attention to your next scale, I will pay special attention to you. He explained the reason for giving the yellow card and added a warning. He blocked Hazard's words of defense. The referee ignored him and turned his head to look at Henderson on the ground. How do you feel? Do you need a team doctor? No. Henderson refused with a ferocious expression. He rubbed his instep with his hands and climbed up from the ground with a limp, a pure flaw. It hurts. Set piece. The referee pointed to the spot where the foul was committed and announced. The Chelsea players, who had already surrounded him and were dissatisfied with the yellow card given to Hazard, now had no need to do so. There was no foul just now. He touched the ball. That guy's screams and falls were all his performances. You were fooled by him. On the sidelines, Klopp in the coaching area saw Henderson climb up again, and there was no big problem, and he breathed a sigh of relief. He was really scared. Henderson had just recovered from his injury and returned to the game not long ago. If he got injured again, almost half of the main players would be injured. After relaxing, he also happened to hear Conte's roar. Conor Langsy was very dissatisfied with the yellow card given to Hazard by the referee and the penalty for Liverpool's set piece. He rushed to the sidelines to complain to the fourth official. That was a normal fight. Hazard touched the ball. It didn't constitute any foul at all. Henderson, that guy, was just faking a fall, he was fucking performing. Your penalty is very unreasonable. This is Stamford Bridge, your penalty. He didn't finish his words. He was interrupted by Klopp rushing up. He was almost scared to death just now. You actually said there was no foul? This is Stamford Bridge? You fucking want a home whistle? Is it a foul to kick someone in the face? It's still a fucking performance. I'll kick you, you fucking perform for me. Klopp also has a bad temper, and naturally, he won't be polite when speaking, and he seems very rude. It just so happens that Conor Langsy also has a bad temper. After being confronted by Klopp, he was already furious and rushed straight to Klopp. Come and try it. I'll knock out your teeth with one punch. He raised his fist to Klopp in a demonstrative manner and waved it deliberately a few times. What the hell are you talking about? Do you want to try 320 and my farmer's 3 punches? Calm down. Please keep calm, return to your positions, and do not leave the coaching area. The fourth official hurriedly dissuaded and separated the two people. If you continue like this, I will notify the referee and give you 2 warnings. The staff of the 2 teams did not participate, but hurried out to pull the 2 back. It was really unnecessary. Especially on the Liverpool side, the players got a free kick opportunity without any problem. There was really no need to give the head coach a yellow card. Chelsea felt that they had already received a yellow card, so they could not let the head coach receive another one. A farce on the sideline started unexpectedly and ended in a hurry. Liverpool got a free kick. Chelsea should be very dissatisfied with the penalty. Looking at the replay, Hazard did commit a foul just now. Conte was also very dissatisfied and complained to the fourth official. There was also an argument between the two of them, Klopp. A little episode. Both of them returned to the coaching area. Back to the court. This free kick was taken by Chen Mo. There are many free kick players in Liverpool at present, and Chen Mo is one of them. The football is placed. Chelsea's human wall is ready. The referee blew the whistle. Crescent moon saber. Crescent moon saber. The ball went in. Courtois tried his best to save the ball, but he was just a little bit away from the ball, but he still couldn't touch the ball. The ball went straight into the dead corner. The moment the goal was scored, Liverpool fans burst into violent cheers. Chen Mo used the skill card Crescent Moon Saber. Easily scored a free kick. A full moon was painted on Stamford Bridge, which helped Chelsea fans recall the nightmares around the beginning of the new century. The guy wearing the same red jersey and handsome broke their goal with the same goal. After that guy left, they thought that the full moon would never appear over Stamford Bridge again. But unexpectedly, after 18 years, they saw the nightmare scene again. Crescent moon scimitar. Perfect crescent moon scimitar. Chen Mo broke Chelsea's goal with a crescent moon scimitar. Just like the Red Devils number 7 18 years ago. Carragher slapped the table excitedly, looking at Gary Neville and York with a livid face. The two now only felt their faces burning. It hurt a little too much to be beaten. Crescent moon scimitar. That was once the pride of the Red Devils. How could a player who can kick out a scimitar kick be a player whose form is declining, who is about to fall, and who is not worthy of his reputation? Carragher saw that the two did not speak, but he did not intend to let them go, so he kicked them in the face. My two good colleagues. Which do you think is better, the Red Devil scimitar kick or the Liverpool scimitar kick? Episode 68, Continuous Flying Tackles, Will the Supernova Really Fall? Liverpool is finished in the Champions League, finally. The first half ended with Chen Mo's scimitar goal. 3 o'clock, Chelsea was 3 goals behind Liverpool at home. This was unacceptable to some Chelsea fans who came to watch the game. They stared at the players returning to the locker room in frustration. Some fans with poor tolerance also stood up from their seats and left the stadium early. For them, the game was over. It was difficult to equalize the score in the second half. They didn't want to see Liverpool win at Stamford Bridge. They didn't want to see Liverpool celebrate at Stamford Bridge, the holy place in their hearts. Leaving early was the greatest salvation for themselves. In the VIP stand box, a group of Chelsea executives were silent. They couldn't believe the result of the first half. Their own team, sitting at home, was actually 3 goals behind. You know, Chelsea is a team known for its iron-blooded defense. Even in the team's weakest season, the number of goals lost was the least in the entire Premier League. Their biggest problem is that they can defend but can't score. The opponent couldn't break through their goal. It was also difficult for him to break through the opponent's goal. There was no strong center forward. He could only rely on Hazard to become a breakthrough point. But in the first half of the game, Hazard lost his magic. If it weren't for that yellow card, people would almost forget that he was still playing on the field. This was Chen Mo's game. Although the second goal was a bit funny, it was completely luck. But it is undeniable. Chen Mo did complete a hat trick. The 2 key goals were completed outside the penalty area. 1 heavy cannon and 1 crescent scimitar. fully demonstrated his strength and top-level technology. The combination of beast and master. Hazard was completely restricted by him. His defensive area alone covered Chelsea's entire second half. It was terrible. Chelsea didn't even have a chance to pass the ball forward. Giroud and Hazard wandered in Liverpool's midfield and backcourt like a leaf boat on the sea. Couldn't provide strong support. Chen Mo's performance alone made them feel a deep despair. The most important thing is that Liverpool is not a complete Liverpool now. Two of their main strikers are injured. If those two are still there, Chen Mo's passing ability will be amplified. Think about the first half of the game. Chen Mo's master-level pass put the cake into his mouth, and Solanke could still spit it out. If it were Firmino, Salah. Add the existing main. The cooperation of the four people would be a terrifying attacking group. This made the Chelsea executives who wanted to compete for the championship feel a huge sense of crisis. No. We must act quickly. Boss. We have to find a way to dig Chen Mo to Chelsea. An executive immediately suggested to Abramovich. Abramovich, who was originally bored with red wine and cigars when the team was behind, became interested after hearing this. What? Before the game started, didn't you say it wasn't very likely? Boss. We have to act. Break Liverpool apart in advance. Liverpool is strong enough now. Don't forget that their Salah and Firmino are still injured. The executive was a little anxious. The sense of crisis urged him to act quickly. If Liverpool had no injuries, the tactical system would be fully integrated this season. Next season, we will strengthen several positions. That would be a complete Liverpool. When we want to compete for the Premier League title again, Liverpool will be the biggest obstacle. After listening to the executive's analysis, Abramovich frowned and realized the danger. Then take action. No matter what method you use, I don't set a limit on the money, I only look at the final result. Abramovich, who is rich and powerful, has always been very decisive in doing things. He made a decision immediately and gave the executives the greatest authority. But he felt a little powerless in his heart. If money can't solve the problem, he can't think of any other way to solve the problem. It's not just Chelsea's executives who are aware of the crisis. Guardiola, who is also in Manchester, also realized that Liverpool might be terrible. He solved the league yesterday. Now he has entered the Champions League preparation state. The opponent in the next round is Liverpool, and he needs to collect information about Liverpool. Therefore, he watched the live broadcast of the game at home. Chen Mo's performance in the first half. Guardiola was shocked. He didn't expect it. A few months ago, the Barcelona player who had just stepped into the Premier League and only had super stealing ability has grown to this point. The news did pay attention. But those news and information were not as shocking as watching the live broadcast with your own eyes. Salah and Firmino's injuries contributed to Chen Mo's outbreak. The stealing ability is still stable. Look at his ball control, long shots, and his ball control and dribbling, it's simply a rebirth. Guardiola said to the head coach Arteta in astonishment. Arteta accompanied Guardiola to watch the game and collected information about Liverpool. His progress is very obvious. It shows that he is very talented. After Klopp's training and giving him enough opportunities, his growth rate is amazing. I also watched the replay of the first two games. Chen Mo's condition has not declined. His ability to steal and dribble is still stable. After watching the game, I feel that he is playing with restraint. I think Klopp is looking for the problems of the team that were covered up by Chen Mo through these two games. He is trying and making mistakes for the Champions League. Otherwise, how can Arteta lead Arsenal to revive? His observation, judgment, and analytical ability are all possessed by top coaches. Guardiola nodded. He had such a guess a long time ago. It seems that the Champions League game will be difficult to play. It's already difficult in the first round. In the second round, Salah and Firmino will return from injury, and it will only be more difficult for us to play. While speaking, Guardiola grabbed his big bald head. Just imagining the complete Liverpool with Salah, Firmino, and Wijnaldum returning, he felt a little numb. Call our sports director and CEO. Tell them to sign Chen Mo to me at all costs in the summer window. Guatuzzi has already anticipated it. If Chen Mo stays next season, Liverpool is not very targeted, especially in getting a defensive midfielder to match with Chen Mo. He can be sure. At that time, no one will be able to stop Liverpool. So he must take action. The way to defeat the opponent is not only to compete with skills and tactics, but also to poach players. The second half begins. Welcome back everyone. After the halftime break, Chelsea coach Conte made some changes to the formation. Moses and Fabregas were moved forward, Hazard was pulled to the side, and Marcos Alonso returned to the right-back position. The formation changed to 4,231. In the first half, Fabregas, who was in a backward position, and Hazard, who played as a front midfielder in the middle, were all within Chen Mo's defense range and were restricted by Chen Mo. Especially Hazard, who was cut off from the backcourt by Chen Mo and restricted to death. In addition to a yellow card at the beginning of the game, he was completely invisible. Conte probably also discovered this problem, so he pulled Hazard back to the side, which should be able to activate Hazard on the side. From the formation point of view, Conte should have given up the defensive counterattack and prepared to directly fight Liverpool. Jean-Jun analyzed. Jean-Lu agreed. Chelsea was completely suppressed in the first half of the counterattack and had no chance to counterattack. It's embarrassing to be beaten 3 o'clock at home, and Conte's relationship with his boss Abramovich has deteriorated recently. If he gets slaughtered at home, his position may be unstable. Damn. Chelsea is a bit smart in attacking Liverpool. I feel Chelsea will die miserably. Liverpool is the only one in the Premier League who will be crazy about attacking. No one will have a good ending if they attack Liverpool. The last team to play against Liverpool was Manchester United in the Red Devils. Too miserable, they were beaten like a sieve. 7:0. Conte is so confused. I think it should be okay. After all, Chelsea's defense is still stable, and they shouldn't be beaten like a sieve. Chen Mo, you are right. It is indeed not easy to be beaten like a sieve. Chen Mo, my fucking hat trick. Emotion doesn't count. His heavy artillery that doesn't talk to the end. And the unsolvable free kick of the crescent moon scimitar, it is so accurate that it is confusing. As said, Chelsea did play against Liverpool. And they are very offensive. Especially Hazard, who was on the side, it seemed to be activated. He was so successful on the side. Arnold was broken through continuously, and it was like Highway 66. It was as easy as crossing the road in the morning. Less than 5 minutes. Because Arnold was broken through, Hazard easily penetrated from the ribs and passed the ball horizontally. Fabregas lobbed the ball. The ball was lobbed into the penalty area. Giroud performed an aerial flying man, overpowering Van Dijk, to head the ball into the goal. Karius became the regent in a second, but Chelsea pulled one back. That is, a header. Otherwise, even if Karius was the regent, the result might not be certain. As we all know, Giroud's header is the reincarnation of the king, but if he shoots with his feet, it will be a difficult one. It's meaningless not to even take the ball into the empty goal. Just kick a magical ball. Chelsea pulled one back. Morale was boosted, and they were even more excited. The offensive was like a wave after another, and the two wings flew together and kept rushing into Liverpool's backcourt from both wings. Especially Hazard on the wing. How invisible he was in the first half, how active he was in the second half. Passing Arnold was like passing his son. Chen Mo's coverage area is indeed large, but it is not large enough to cover the entire half-court. Even if he has this ability, he can't split himself. After all, Fabregas and Kanté are in the middle and need him to keep an eye on them. Hazard broke through Arnold again. Henderson hurried forward to fill in the position. But Hazard changed his rhythm quickly, stopped Henderson, and completed the blast on the side. Chen Mo rushed to the side to fill in Henderson. At the moment when Henderson was broken by Hazard, he relied on God-level prediction and decisively kicked out. Destroyed the football beyond the sideline. Don't rashly stretch your feet to steal and fight. Get in position and stabilize the low defense. Get up from the grass. Chen Mo yelled at Arnold. Arnold nodded repeatedly, but the frustration of being overwhelmed almost overflowed. After all, it's still in front of him. Mentality can easily go wrong. Let's switch positions. Hazard is too threatening. Chen Mo said to Henderson again. Henderson nodded to him. We can switch positions at any time. You don't need to notify me. Just switch positions, and I will take the initiative to fill your previous position. Chen Mo had never played as a core player before. So he has not yet fully adapted to the core mentality. Keep going. Just play like this. Teach Liverpool these bastards a lesson. Kill them. Tie the score back and reverse them. The Blues are invincible. As the Blues' offensive gradually increased, Chelsea's emotions were mobilized again. They began to cheer for the players on the field. They kept roaring to cheer the players up. But as Chen Mo and Henderson switched positions, a big fight hit all of them in the face. The left side that was attacking like a tide just now. Because of Chen Mo's arrival, it was directly strangled. Chen Mo rudely intercepted Hazard's breakthrough, and Hazard lost his temper. The key is to intercept twice in a row. Hazard was not confused. Chen Mo was a little confused. Hazard, who had provided him with negative emotional values in the first half, did not provide any negative emotional values after being intercepted continuously. This is Chen Mo's failure to understand the strong mentality of the bad players. At most one negative. Then he started to play badly. It doesn't matter. It's just that I'm not good, you are awesome. I'm so stupid. Chen Mo was convinced anyway. Not only Hazard, but also Kanté, who was continuously broken through and intercepted by me, did not provide any negative emotional values. This made Chen Mo sigh that Chelsea players are really fucking weird. Fortunately, there is also Fabregas. He is Chen Mo's best sponsor in this game. The few short confrontations just now made Chen Mo gain a lot. After Chelsea's left side was strangled, the attack also began to stop. Chen Mo began to switch frequently between the left and the middle. Hazard and Fabregas have lost their effectiveness. Even if Kanté was anxious on the sidelines, it was of little use. Even if there were a few sporadic opportunities on the right side, they did not pose an absolute threat to Liverpool's goal. This state continued until the end of the game. It was originally determined that there would be no waves in the game. But in the last few minutes, Chen Mo's scream, "No," broke the calm. In the 92nd minute, Fabregas made a mistake in passing. Liverpool intercepted the ball and launched the last attack. Chen Mo, who received Milner's large-scale transfer pass, dribbled the ball into the penalty area from the right side of Chelsea. Just as he was about to raise his foot to shoot, 3 Chelsea defenders flew up one after another and intercepted Chen Mo with a flying shovel. First was Marcos Alonso. Chen Mo dodged his flying tackle with a dunk. Then it was Rudiger, who flew from the front right. Chen Mo lifted the ball with his right foot and passed the opponent. But before he landed, Gary Cahill flew over, even though Chen Mo predicted it the moment he flew over. But everything happened too fast. Chen Mo dodged the flying tackles of 2 people in succession, just past Rudiger, and was unable to react after all. He could only protect himself from injury as much as possible. But Gary Cahill threw his whole body out, and the impact can be imagined. Even if Chen Mo made a protective move, he was still inevitably hit on the knee by the opponent. The moment he fell on the grass, Chen Mo couldn't help but scream. The unforgettable pain in his knee made him sweat. What you fear will come true. It is certain that the knee is definitely injured. The system uses the injury recovery card. Ding. Reminder to the host. The injury recovery card has been used once today and cannot be used again on the same day. After receiving this reply from the system, Chen Mo was dumbfounded. The team doctor rushed up. After examining him, he immediately made a judgment that the meniscus of the knee might be damaged. He must be sent to the hospital quickly. Liverpool supernova seriously injured and sent to the hospital. Suspected meniscus injury. Chen Mo will be written off for the season. Supernova really fell? Chen Mo seriously injured and went to the hospital. Champions League is coming soon. 4 generals are injured and absent. Liverpool Champions League is over. Kendall shed tears on the court. Accompanied Chen Mo to the hospital. Klopp was furious and had a violent conflict with Kanté after the game. Gary Cahill apologized. Episode 69, The Body of a Demon Child. The first battle is the decisive battle. Will the road to the Champions League end? It started when Chen Mo was injured, carried away on a stretcher, and sent directly to the hospital. Klopp was anxious, especially when he heard the team doctor report to him that Chen Mo had injured his knee and was likely to injure his meniscus. Klopp's anger reached its peak in an instant. What Champions League? What quarterfinals against Manchester City? Klopp threw all of them behind his head. He just wanted to rush up and tear Gary Cahill to pieces. If the knee injury was not serious, it would be fine, but if it was really like what the team doctor said, the meniscus was injured, Chen Mo's entire career might be ruined. The best result of a meniscus injury is repair. But if it is so serious that the meniscus is removed, it will really affect the player's condition after recovery. How many talented players and top players in football have lost their peak in talent because of the removal of the meniscus? In the end, they can only be forced to end their careers early. Especially defensive players. The use of the knee will be more dependent. Once the meniscus is removed, the defensive and stealing abilities will decline, and may even lead to glass man. I thought of what Chen Mo might face. Klopp was in a bad mood. After the game resumed, the referee blew the whistle to end the game soon. The angry Klopp walked straight to Gary Cahill. He wanted to ask Gary Cahill, "Are you a butcher?" But he was stopped by his assistant coach. The assistant coach dared not let Klopp, who was angry and could lose control at any time, go to Cahill. Because Klopp might really give the opponent a set of Farmer's 3 punches. But Klopp was stopped, but Kanté took the initiative to come over and stretched out his hand to shake hands with Klopp. Losing the game made him feel very bad. When shaking hands, in addition to congratulations, he also said a sarcastic remark. "Your Champions League journey is likely to end." He said one more sentence without mercy. It also made himself feel good. But this was like a spark that ignited dynamite, completely igniting the gunpowder barrel of Klopp, the tank nation. After Conte finished speaking, he was ready to withdraw his arm and leave. But when he pulled his hand away, he found that his hand was tightly grasped by Klopp. Klopp angrily questioned him. "Did you give Gary Cahill an order? Is this how you lead your players? It's just a butcher, it's just an executioner, garbage." Conte was not to be outdone. Conor Langsy's temper was also explosive. Otherwise, how could he have the nickname of Erlangsy? He directly said that Chen Mo deserved it, and tried to forcibly withdraw his hand. The result was that the two had a physical conflict. Conor Langsy pushed Klopp hard, and Klopp directly launched the Tank Nation tough guy skill farmer 3 punches. Fortunately, he was stopped by the assistant coach, who rushed up. The club staff on both sides ran up and forcibly separated the two. Finally, with the intervention of the head coach, Klopp was forcibly dragged back to the locker room by his own staff. Conor Langsy was also dragged away by Chelsea. Later, at the post-match press conference, Klopp walked onto the stage angrily. He began to fire wildly at Chelsea and Conte. He claimed that Chelsea and Conte were ugly coaches leading an ugly team. They couldn't play football at all. They came to the football field to fight. Naked executioners. Finally, he left a harsh word. "From now on, Chelsea is Liverpool's mortal enemy. The hatred will never end." He kicked over the chair and strode away. Chen Mo was sent to the hospital. Accept the doctor's examination as soon as possible. The team's head doctor and Kendall surrounded the doctor as soon as he brought the examination report. "Doctor, how is my boyfriend?" Kendall's eyes were slightly red, tears were rolling, and she asked the doctor anxiously. She swore that she would never want to watch football live again. It was the first time to watch a football game live. As a result, her boyfriend's face was covered with blood in the first half, and he was carried away on a stretcher in the second half and sent to the hospital. The experience of watching football was simply terrible. The head doctor saw the doctor holding the examination report with a solemn face, and his heart sank. One side of the knee ligament contusion. Meniscus tear. The specific treatment plan still needs to be treated according to communication. The current situation is only the first examination. A second examination will be required tomorrow to communicate with the patient and formulate a treatment plan. But looking at the current examination results, I think there is no possibility of repair and suturing. The best treatment plan is to remove it directly. After the doctor said the results, he handed the examination report to the head doctor. "You are just a medical professional, you should be able to see this result." The team doctor looked at the report and saw the tear of the meniscus. His face was completely gloomy. It was indeed the worst result. He couldn't help but feel heavy. As the club's team doctor, he naturally knew the severity of the player's injuries. Everything in the human body is innate. As long as it exists, it is necessary to exist. If you can avoid removing parts, it is best not to remove them. Even the meniscus. Removal may have a bad effect on the body. "I know." The team doctor sighed and put away the test results. "We need to transfer to another hospital and return to Liverpool overnight. This is a hospital in London. The treatment of football players is not the most professional. They have to go back to the club. The club has medical experts who can provide the most professional treatment plan. In addition, he actually still has some luck. I hope the results of the hospital examination here are not accurate." About 2 hours after being sent to the hospital, Chen Mo was lying on the bed eating fruit, with a relaxed and comfortable look on his face, and he had no worries after the injury. He also comforted Kendall for a long time. "Women. They panic when something happens. I am fine." The other party started to cry, which made Chen Mo uncomfortable. Fortunately, he was good at speaking and comforted the beauty. He asked the other party to peel an apple for him, and he ate it while reading the news. The media reporters are very efficient. Various news reports were published. Even before the results of his examination came out, the media had already started to lie, saying that his injury was very serious and his career might be interrupted. There were also people saying that he would really decline completely this time, and then he would be like everyone else and fall completely. Various negative public opinions. They were all about looking down on his performance after the injury. Chen Mo spitted on this. Maybe the media is born masochists, and the more they are slapped in the face, the more they like to stick their faces to him. After reading these news, Chen Mo saw some post-match news. Klopp announced that Chelsea had become a deadly enemy. After the game, Conte shook hands with Klopp, but Klopp refused to let go. The two of them ran away in anger, cursing at each other, and almost got into a fight. Chen Mo was amused when he saw this. What's going on? The coaches of the tank country like to hold Conte's hand and not let go? Klopp's behavior suddenly reminded him of Tuchel, the later Chelsea coach. At that time, Conte had already become the head coach of Tottenham. Conte also took the initiative to shake hands, but was held by the other party. Both of them are coaches of the Tank Country, and they have coached the Hornets. They both started their careers in Mainz and took up the coaching baton, embarking on the road to becoming famous coaches. Too similar. Watching the video of Klopp and Conte's confrontation, Klopp himself appeared in the ward. Mo. I have contacted the top medical experts in the Tank Country. He will come to Liverpool to treat you. Don't be too psychologically burdened. Everything will go smoothly. Klopp came up and said that he had found an expert. He wanted to use the expert to give Chen Mo some psychological comfort. But Chen Mo didn't need it at all. He didn't need comfort at all, because he didn't worry at all. Of course, if there is no system and no plug-in, it would be a different matter. Boss, you and Conte had a conflict, really not, because you fell in love with his watch. Seeing Klopp's serious face, Chen Mo deliberately made a joke about the previous life. AAA. Seeing that Chen Mo was not depressed after the injury, Klopp couldn't help but laugh at Chen Mo's words. He was relieved. No longer worried about Chen Mo will have psychological problems. But thinking of the injury and the possibility of removing the meniscus, Klopp's smile was a bit forced. Returned to Liverpool overnight. Mendes called and asked him to wait for him in London to arrange a plane and fly directly to America for expert consultation. The proposal was rejected by Chen Mo. Mendes could only let Chen Mo return to Liverpool, and he went to America to pick up medical experts to Liverpool. Not only Mendes. The family learned that he was injured. Mom Cortina called to show concern as soon as possible. She also contacted the most authoritative medical professor of the top sports in Europe. Tomorrow morning, I will rush to Liverpool. It made Chen Mo feel like he had a terminal illness. A moment of helplessness. Wanted to refuse, but was strongly suppressed by his mother, a scolding. After returning to Liverpool, Chen Mo was arranged to stay in the intensive care unit of the top private hospital in cooperation with Liverpool Club. When he moved in, it was already past midnight. After Kendall fell asleep, Chen Mo finally got the chance to call the system for a lottery. Negative emotion value, 13111. 2 draws. Still the familiar big wheel. Congratulations to the host for getting a bronze treasure chest ×1. Congratulations to the host for getting a legendary treasure chest ×1. Do you want to open it? Got a prompt sound. Seeing the familiar legendary treasure chest on the system interface again, Chen Mo's mood instantly became excited. Legendary treasure chest. Finally got a legendary treasure chest again. God knows how upset he was when he drew a bunch of bronze treasure chests and opened a bunch of professional player nutrition packages last time. He quickly gave the system an order. Open the bronze treasure chest to get a professional player nutrition package ×1. Open the legendary treasure chest to get the demon child body template ×1. All have been stored in the system warehouse. The host can choose to merge. Demon child body? Chen Mo was a little confused. Why did it suddenly feel a bit mysterious? Is this considered an innate demon body? Is he about to embark on the path of cultivating demons? He joked to himself. He opened the system warehouse, found the Demon Boy body template, and checked the template introduction. Demon Boy body, after fusion, you can obtain the Iron Man's Steel and Iron Bones attribute, and the chance of injury is reduced to 10%. You can obtain super physical strength, movement speed, reaction speed, foot sensitivity, physical confrontation, and instant explosive power. After fusion, the host will obtain a perfect body that is not easy to get injured. And the recovery speed of injuries increases by 20%, and the recovery speed of fatigue increases by 80%. Damn. It means that after fusion, you will directly become an Iron Man, and improve your physical fitness in all aspects. Isn't this what I am missing now? He immediately started the fusion. The Demon Child body template fusion successful. The host has a serious injury, and the fusion magic board will repair it, 50%. The moment he got the system prompt, he felt a chill in his injured knee. The pain was not so obvious. He immediately used the injury recovery card. After 12 o'clock, he could use the props again. The injury recovery card was used successfully. The host's serious injury has been recovered. The current injury is mild, and it takes a week to recover completely. This injury is indeed a bit serious. Even after the Demon Child body template fusion and the injury recovery card double buff blessing, it has not been fully recovered. A week of rest is acceptable. It also saves him from having to find reasons to explain why the injury suddenly disappeared. If he is discovered, he may be taken away for slice research. It saves trouble now. If he rests for a week, he will miss the first round of the Champions League quarter-finals at home against Manchester City 3 days later. The next day, experts from all walks of life gathered. The medical team expert group cooperated with the club. Klopp invited them from the tank country. Mendes brought over a team of top medical experts from America. A professor of sports medical rehabilitation brought by his mother, Cortina. If Chen Mo hadn't stopped him, Kendall would have used his family's connections in the NBA to find him a doctor. These people formed a medical rehabilitation team. Chen Mo was re-examined and confirmed, and a treatment and recovery plan was prepared. But when the results came out, everyone was dumbfounded. There was nothing wrong with the meniscus. Only ligament contusion. And it wasn't too serious. Conservative analysis shows that he would be fully recovered in a week and a half at most. They were still a little bit unconvinced, and they checked Chen Mo several times, and the answers were the same in the end. These experts were amused and cried. They all attributed it to the fact that the hospital in London was very unprofessional. A simple treatment was performed. Chen Mo should pay attention in the near future and not do too strenuous exercise to prevent secondary ligament injuries. The rest is to stay at home and rest. Klopp was overjoyed. The hanging heart was completely relieved. But thinking of the Champions League, Chen Mo's joy that he was not seriously injured was instantly dissipated. 4 main players were injured. The forward line lacked Sulla and Firmino, and could only rely on Maine. The midfield was better. Chen Mo, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Milner, and Chamberlain were injured. But in the defensive midfielder position, Henderson played as a single defensive midfielder, and his defensive ability and forward delivery ability would be greatly weakened. A set of incomplete lineups fighting against Manchester City with all the main players? Klopp was pessimistic about this. He knew the character of Guardiola, and that bastard would definitely take advantage of Liverpool's illness to attack Liverpool. Guardiola would definitely try his best to get the game in the first round and completely crush Liverpool. Don't give Liverpool any chance to counterattack in the second round. The first round is the top priority. After the outside media learned that Chen Mo's injury was not serious and he would recover soon, it was as if the previous reports had nothing to do with them. Selective forgetting. No one continued to badmouth Chen Mo, and no one used Chen Mo's injury as an excuse to promote the so-called fall of genius. Even the main players who badmouthed Chen Mo, Gary Neville and York, were completely silent after being slapped by Chen Mo with a crescent-shaped scimitar. But without badmouthing Chen Mo, everyone turned their guns around and began to badmouth Liverpool crazily. Various comments that Liverpool was finished were flooded in the reports of major media. Various comments and analyses by professionals also gave very pessimistic results. The key is that everyone really believed it. Even some media exaggeratedly stated that Liverpool would be empty-handed this season. The storm is coming. Today's Liverpool is completely in a precarious situation. It seems that everyone in the world thinks that Manchester City will completely kill the game in the first round. The first battle is the decisive battle. Liverpool's journey to the Champions League has come to an end and has completely ended. Episode 70, Baldgua takes advantage of others' misfortune. Is the real king back? Emre Can's poor performance, 3 days. With the recovery speed buff brought by the demon child's body, Chen Mo recovered quickly. If it weren't for the inability to use the injury recovery card for the same injury continuously, Chen Mo would have been alive and kicking now. He was able to move freely. It was just a question of whether he could do high-intensity exercise. It was almost impossible to tell that he was still injured. The professor of sports medicine from Europa Sports Training, invited by his mother, Cortina, was even more amazed. He checked Chen Mo every day. He found that the degree of recovery every day had a qualitative leap. After 3 days of contact, he came to a conclusion. Chen Mo's body was the most suitable for competitive sports in the world. There was a huge potential that could be further explored. He was directly born with a holy body for competitive sports. Until he left on the 3rd day, the old guy was still reluctant to leave. He held Chen Mo's hand before leaving. He told Chen Mo that if he had any questions in the future, he could contact him at any time. He also wanted to continue studying Chen Mo's body functions. Chen Mo was so scared that he almost slapped him. This old man obviously has an ulterior motive and wants to slice himself up. But it's okay. Even if the changes brought by the demon boy's body are still within a theoretically reasonable range. Otherwise, Chen Mo can't explain it. On the 4th day of recovery, Chen Mo can actually start training and announce his comeback. But the club's medical experts and physiotherapists all said that it is best not to return on the front line, worried that it will leave hidden dangers of illness. Klopp has the same attitude. Even if Chen Mo found Klopp and said that he could return to the Champions League with an injury. But Klopp rejected it sternly. Klopp felt that Chen Mo was too irresponsible for his injury. He even got angry because of it. For him, compared with the health of the players, even the Champions League can be given up. The player has not fully recovered and returned to the game with an injury, even if the injury is not serious. In case of some accidents, secondary injuries occur, and the player is left with a root cause of illness. That would ruin the player's future. If they lose the Champions League, they can come back next year. The player's health is gone, their future is ruined, but they can't come back next year. Therefore, Chen Mo was still excluded from the squad for the first round of the Champions League quarter-finals against Manchester City. He could only watch the game in the stands at Anfield with his fellow injured players who had recovered well but could not meet the requirements to play. The Champions League is coming. Various public opinions are in the air. The quarter-finals of the Premier League civil war. One team is now the top of the Premier League. The other team is Liverpool, which has won consecutive games and slaughtered the giants Barcelona. The British media attaches great importance to this game. Various news are frequently released. Some media even directly bombarded UEFA, completely targeting the Premier League. They think UEFA does not want to see the Premier League grow. They manipulate the draw every time. They put the Premier League teams together and let the Premier League teams fight each other. This statement appears every year in the Champions League. UEFA is not clean, so it is normal to be scolded. But most people are still paying attention to the game itself. For example, Liverpool Now. Sky Sports invited several guests and launched a program to analyze the game. Carragher, Gerrard, Gary Neville, Giggs, who has stepped down from the position of interim head coach, and Owen, the former win-chasing boy. Sky Sports originally wanted to invite some Manchester City legends. But Manchester City's rise was too short. It was a weak team before, a small card that was often relegated. There are no famous players to show off. So they can only settle for the second best and invite two Manchester United famous players, and Owen, who used to play for Liverpool and Manchester United, but is hated by fans of both sides and regarded as a traitor. The main reason for planning the program is very simple. It is definitely not really for analyzing the game and popularizing football tactics. Their main task is still for popularity. The goal is to get ratings. Exposure and making money are more important. Not only did they find Liverpool famous players, but also Manchester City's rival Manchester United famous players. This is interesting. Carragher and Gerrard will naturally support Liverpool without reservation. But what about the other three people? Especially the two from Manchester United, Giggs, who was slaughtered by Manchester City not long ago. Do they support the league rivals or the city rivals? This is interesting. I think Liverpool still has a chance in this game. Gerrard still chose to support. He was as blind as ever. Just like when Liverpool was at its darkest. Gerrard still speaks affirmatively every time Liverpool has the ability to compete for the championship. Carragher seems calmer and more realistic. Liverpool does have a chance. But I don't think it's in this game. Liverpool has too many injuries now, and its main weapons are all injured. It's really difficult for Liverpool with a damaged lineup to threaten Manchester City. I think we should defend it strictly. Don't deliberately pursue victory, try to lose as few balls as possible, or even get a draw. Put the real victory or defeat of the game in the second round at Etihad, and Liverpool with a full lineup can win. Just like the previous match against Manchester City. Carragher's analysis is indeed the most reasonable and realistic now. Klopp thinks so too. Defend and counterattack. Score and win the game if there is a chance. Draw if there is no chance, and be nervous to ensure that the opponent does not score. Even if you lose, don't lose too much. 1 or 2 goals away. In the second round, beat Manchester City's poop and let them spit out what they have eaten with interest. Gary Neville interrupted Carragher rudely. Are you dreaming? Liverpool, with a weakened team, still want to defend? Will Guardiola give you a chance? If I were Guardiola, I would definitely kill you while you are weak. I would beat you up in the first game and strangle you completely without giving you any chance to fight back. Giggs followed up with a serious face and said, Manchester City is very strong. They won't give Liverpool any chance. Manchester United, with a full lineup, was beaten 7 o'clock, let alone Liverpool, with a weakened team. I think Liverpool will die miserably. They may lose more than 6 goals. As soon as these words came out, Carragher and Gerrard were both upset. A full lineup Manchester United? What level is a full lineup Manchester United? Are you qualified to compare with our Liverpool? Manchester United cannot be used as a standard. Is it difficult to beat a full lineup Manchester United 7 o'clock? Almost all the top 6 teams in the Premier League can achieve this result. Carragher and Gerrard were blasting Manchester United. Especially the last sentence, is it difficult to beat 10? Giggs was stabbed to the core. In fact, he was arranging the troops in both games. Liverpool and Manchester City, 2 mortal enemies of Manchester United, swept him one after another. The 27:0s were like two big slaps on his face, one on each side. Giggs slammed the table, breaking defense and pointing at Gerrard. Carragher ran wildly. Gary Neville helped. The two sides started with blasting each other, and gradually evolved from verbal fights to physical fights. They started throwing things and smashing each other. The host was numb. Why did they fight again? Last time he hosted the show, and Gerrard and Keane had a boxing match. Why did they fight again? She stood up and tried to stop them. The live studio was in chaos. Only Owen looked indifferent, helplessly spreading his hands in front of the camera. He didn't say a word from beginning to end. Now I feel that the world is noisy. I don't care about the two sides at all, just watching the conflict between the two sides. But he didn't expect it. He didn't do anything, but he was the most criticized. Liverpool fans called him a traitor. Manchester United fans called him a fake. They all gnashed their teeth at him, and couldn't stand him sitting on the mountain watching the Tigers fight, and didn't come out to help. Manchester City fans also criticized Owen. That Owen is a coward. You are madly hated by Liverpool and Manchester United, and you don't say a word. Why can't you support our Manchester City? Owen was stupid later. He just felt that he wanted to find a place to cry to death. It felt that the whole world was full of malice. Even though he didn't say anything, the fans of the three teams ran towards him. Why? Public opinion was in chaos. The first round of the game started under such circumstances. Liverpool sat at Anfield to face the challenger from Chester. In the stands, Chen Mo, Sulla, Firmino, Wijnaldum. Four injured brothers in distress. At this moment, they stood in a row, facing the cheers of their own fans around them, stood up from time to take photos with them, and raised their hands to greet the fans. Listening to the opening of the game, a must-have program for Liverpool fans, singing loudly, "You Will Never Walk Alone." The four people were a little solemn. They all knew it. Liverpool is really in trouble in this game. Do you think we will lose badly? Wijnaldum endured for a long time, and when he saw the players from both sides appear on the field, he finally couldn't help asking. Crow's mouth. Sulla and Firmino were both furious as soon as the words came out. Both of them glared at Wijnaldum fiercely. It made the elder brother feel guilty. But he couldn't stop the panic and worry in his heart. I don't want to lose either. But look at Manchester City, the main lineup, all the family assets. This posture obviously doesn't give us a way out. Wijnaldum pointed at the Manchester City players and almost cried. Look at their lineup, and then look at their own lineup. Why don't you want to look good? Sulla and Firmino both couldn't help but sigh. Obviously, the two of them were also guilty. They didn't think they could win, and even pessimistically believed in their hearts that the Bijia might really die. Matip has recovered from his injury, the back line is complete, Van Dijk is in charge of the defense, plus Henderson, Emre Can, Milner, all-out defense. Manchester City is also difficult to attack. Please Flowers, 0. Chen Mo looked at the field with a serious look and gave his own analysis. Keep the defense steady. It is possible to get a draw. If Manchester City makes a mistake, Maine, Solanke, and Chamberlain in the front court may still score a goal. Maybe we can still win. As soon as this was said, the other three looked over. Are you sure Emre can hold it steady? Are you sure Karius can withstand the pressure without any problems? What if the defense is not stable and City does not make mistakes? 3 questions in a row. Asked by Chen Mo looked at them blankly. I really don't want to chat with you three. The captains of both teams finished separately. After shaking hands, the players of both teams went to their own half and stood aside. On the Liverpool side, Klopp could only use the existing lineup and set up 42-31. Goalkeeper, Karius. Defenders, Joe Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. Midfielder, Henderson, Reckon. Midfielder, Chamberlain, Maine, Milner. Forward, Solanke. Arnold has stronger offensive attributes and weaker defense, so he was placed on the bench. Emre once again gained trust and formed a double defensive midfielder with Henderson. Klopp made up his mind that he would hold on to the end. The players in the entire formation are all defensive. Manchester City also played with all their main players. Even Sane, the unstable factor, was taken down by Guardiola and thrown out of the starting lineup. A 42-23 formation that is not common. Goalkeeper, Ederson. Defenders, Stones, Kompany, Otamendi. Midfielders, Fernandinho, Gundogan. 0. Midfielders, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Forwards, David Silva, Aguero, Sterling. A lineup full of offensive attributes. The most important thing is to put 4 number 10s in one go, and there are 2 Gundogan and Fernandinho who can go in from behind and have the ability to shoot from a distance. Seeing Manchester City come up with this lineup, Klopp's face turned green. He looked at Guardiola, who was standing in the coaching area with his hands in his pockets on the Manchester City side, and gritted his teeth. Baldigua is clearly taking advantage of someone's misfortune. He obviously wants to kill him while he's sick, and doesn't want him to live at all. The Liverpool players who stood still, looking at the luxurious Manchester City lineup in front of them, seemed to be shrouded in dark clouds. Felt unprecedented pressure. Of course there are exceptions. For example, Emre Can, who is refreshed and full of fighting spirit at the moment. This guy now feels like Don. Finally, Chen Mo, the robber who stole his main force, was injured, and waited for the opportunity to prove himself. He has always been unconvinced by Chen Mo. It was obvious that he made a few mistakes, and Chen Mo stole his main force? I am not worse than that guy at all. He performed well? Nonsense. Give me a core position, and just like him, the whole team will play around me, and I can also perform super well. This game is my own battle of proof. I will use my top strength to lead the team to beat Manchester City and become Liverpool's savior. Regained his main force and pressed the black-haired boy hard on the bench. Cheer Liverpool fans. You are the real king of Anfield back. Then the game started. It was less than 3 minutes. Emre Can was kicked through the crotch by Aguero. It was a clean pass. He didn't even leave a strand of Aguero's hair. After passing Emre Can, Henderson helped to fill the position, but Aguero chose to pass the ball and passed it to Sterling with a diagonal pass. Sterling was booed by Liverpool fans and various voices of cursing traitors. He rushed into the penalty area with the ball. A reverse triangle pass. Emre Can did not return to defense in time and missed David Silva, who rushed into the penalty area from the ribs. A lob shot. Van Dijk bravely flew and blocked the ball with his chest. Emre Can, who wanted to show off, accelerated madly to compete with Aguero for the second landing point. He got the landing point first. But Aguero rushed out right after him, scaring his mother. This lie doesn't matter. Emre Can tried to clear the ball with a big kick, but kicked it hard on the football. There was a crisp sound. Karius in front of the goal was petrified on the spot. He stared at Emre Can and frantically greeted his 18 generations of ancestors. He was already in a difficult situation, facing the elimination next season, and it was the time when he needed excellent performance. But you came to me to put on eye drops. Where did I offend you? Why are you so arrogant? Oh my god. Emre Can actually volleyed a powerful shot, helping Manchester City to score the first goal and break through their own goal. Poor Emre Can. In major broadcasting rooms in various countries, commentators broke their defense and were shocked. Emre Can, who reacted, covered his face and was a little afraid to see people. Especially after hearing the angry roar of Coach Klopp. He knows. Now he can't even play as a substitute, let alone a starting position. His future at Liverpool is over.